and welcome to Marie+One. I'm Marie, and today's plus one is Frankie Armenta. Hi, Frankie. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. It's a pleasure. I was just telling you that I know you've been on several podcasts, and I didn't watch any of them because I want to learn to know you today.
For sure.
And so I didn't want to be biased. So would you like to tell us who you are in a few words?
For sure. Well, my name's Frankie Armenta Jr. I'm a junior. I feel like I'm just overall creative. I tried the title of graphic design for a long time, and I feel like it just kind of outgrew me. I feel like I'm just in so many pockets. I wear a lot of hats, so I'm just creative. I feel like that's like a good title. But I've been building my own the day brand for about like 7, 8 years now. Do all the design. We have an in-house team who does the manufacturing, and I'm loving the process and the journey right now.
Nice. Heck yeah. So I guess um, that's so fun to call yourself a creative because then it just opens up to, yeah, whatever
Right.
you wanna start or try. Would you say that on the day is like your main, like quote unquote, like 9 to 5 type of thing, or
It did pay for my haircut and the gas on the way here
woo?
today.
Yeah, that's how it
But
starts.
it's definitely like it's a grind. It's a struggle at times
Mm-hmm.
and thrives at times. It's one of those things where I just have to stick to the vision and I have to grind it out. And no matter what, I just got to make ends meet and put out the next project. There's always another project,
Mm-hmm.
so as long as I'm working on the next thing, I feel like we'll be all right.
Yeah, and then so
We'll get there.
I usually like to start by digging into like the who are you, but since we're on the day, I kind of want to just dive there real quick and say you said you've been on it for 7, 8 years. Is it something like how did it start? Like this is it something that answered a desire of designing clothing or what? How did it? How was it born?
I think I just wanted to get my name out there.
Okay.
And at the time, I was inspired by like the hundreds and like Half Evil and all these streetwear brands. I was just always into skating and graffiti, so I was like in that world. And I don't know why I picked T-shirts. Honestly, it felt practical. It made sense. It was like we all wear shirts and we swap them out every day. Just made sense. I didn't really think about it too hard. Like it could have been hats, it could have been jewelry, it could have been whatever. But
Yeah.
for some reason, the shirt was a good template, and taught myself how to screen print in my parents' garage, and I was drawing everything out. Carving them with the X-Acto knives out of like transparency papers. They were awful designs because they were very rough draft, very put together. It was
Uh-huh.
awful. So, and then at some point, I was like, well, the design's gonna be hit a standard. So that's why I found graphic design, and I taught myself graphic design, and I was moving a lot of units for like the quality at the time. So I'm super grateful for like all those people early on who like supported and they're rocking the hell out of it. And I'm super grateful for that era because it just shaped character. And a lot of people would have broke during that that
Oh.
that ugly phase of. It wasn't even ugly. It was just like the heart was always there, but visually, the quality it wasn't meeting the standard. So
Mhm.
over time we just perfected it, and you know now I do design full time, which is kind of crazy. Like I didn't seek out to be like a graphic designer or even mess with the digital art world. It just kind of made sense, and I'm creative enough to kind of know what I want,
Mhm.
and then I could work hard enough to figure out the programs, and then I meet people like Josh and a lot of mentors who could like help me along the way, and then experience just pays off. So that's kind of how it all started. I mean, there's so much to it.
Yeah, it's funny because I mean, and Joshua would talk about it way better than me, so don't quote me on it really. But like his journey started when I think he wanted to make his name tag. I don't remember what game, but for a game he was playing, and he wanted to, you know how, like, well, you probably maybe not, but back in the day, I guess we're not too much too, like, we're not super I
Facts.
can't speak English right now, like we're older than you, but not like
Not too much.
yeah.
Facts.
So because I think Josh was 34, I'm gonna be 32 or 35, and I'm gonna be 32. Great, I don't know how old we are. And so
It'd be like that.
all that to say, you know, the name tags, you could make a design, and I think he got interested in someone that made like a super cool looking name tag, and he was like, hey, I want to do that. And so I think he like hacked what was at the time to make a design. He told me that story, so
Who knows?
so sorry, sweetheart. And well, so he hacked a program basically with a friend, and he learned how to make his own name tag. And I think that's how he got the love for graphic design, and you know, and he got into it little by little, and then
I love that.
you know, yeah.
Now he's like a
self-taught.
genius, so
And
that's
yeah,
awesome.
he's like a, how do you say, like a, not a sensei. Oh come on, Marie. It's like in that movie we watched all those movies many times. It's okay. It will come back.
Yeah, I'm spacing it too.
in an hour, I'll be like, that was it. So, okay, so, and you were creative at first, and then so you kind of like went toward graphic design because it made sense.
I mean, honestly, the design just was like, it's gonna make my shirts look cooler.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. I never intended it to be like a full-time thing, or for me to even do freelance wise and, you know, go that route. It was never my forcing. I just knew I needed to figure it out so I can get better at this. Name will get bigger if I do that. So, you know, it's just one of those things, and I'm thankful I got into it because I never dabbled into it. Although it's crazy because I used to be on the Paint app a lot.
Oh yeah.
I used to mess with Paint all day. And it's just crazy to see where it came from.
And see, for me,
Or
paint
started.
was so frustrating. I hated that because anytime I would try, you know how you had to, I don't know, maybe I didn't use it right, but you know, with the mouse, you had to be super precise.
Yes.
And I'm not patient for, you know, and the world. And so after 3 or 4 tries, I would be like,
I'm
flip
over
it.
it. That's
It's
very
okay, I don't need
tedious
it.
for sure.
So, no, fun. Okay. So I wanted to take you back to young Frankie, younger Frankie, because you're still young, of course.
Facts.
But so do you have brothers and sisters?
I have let's see, I'm 26. I think I have a 31-year-old sister. And it's just us two.
Okay. Fun. So are you New Mexico born and raised?
Yeah, my whole family born and raised.
Nice. Okay. Is she still here? Around New Mexico, I mean?
Yeah, she's still here. She's up the street. She's a NM hiker girl on Instagram. If you don't follow her, she has like a pretty big hiking account.
Oh, cool. I make sure to add it to the screen.
We'll clip this, send it to her.
Heck yeah.
For sure.
Fun. Okay. So do you have a pretty traditional family with your parents together, or?
Yeah, my parents are still together. I feel like it's pretty traditional. We have some like funny traditions every year. Some religious, some not religious. I'm not too religious, so like, you know, it's cool. I was just camping with my girl's brother's friend's family.
Okay.
And they all have a tradition where they go camping every year, huge cornhole tournament. We don't do that extreme, but I feel like we have some cool traditions. But more on like the low key end, you know? We kind of just do our thing.
Yeah. What would be one of them?
I'd say, you know, like, for instance, my mom's side, that's where we spend Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, we're at my dad's side.
Okay.
Stuff like that, you know.
Do you have like a pretty big family?
I'd say so. I'd say they're, but not compared to like some people who have like, you know, 14 siblings and shit. Can I cuss on here? Well, we'll keep it to a minimal.
What's that?
Cussing.
Oh no, you're good. Go
Oh,
ahead.
well, yeah.
I mean, we're not sponsored or anything, so I mean, and I'm not
For
getting
sure.
paid for. I don't have the views to get paid yet, so yeah, I
Well-
don't give a shit. You can go ahead.
Cool. Well, I don't have like a big family, but you know, there's a lot of us for sure.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, it's funny because when you say that, I mean, I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters. I'm the oldest, and for
Oh, wow.
us, Christmas Eve was always at my with in our house because it was 8 of us, so we would never be invited anywhere. It's like we invite, and then
Right.
and there was a lot of dishes to wash.
Oh
Um,
man.
but no, it was always fun. And for me, like when you say tradition, that was like kind of one of our biggest tradition was Christmas in my family, and it's always been like so noisy and busy.
Yes.
And so the first time when Joshua came to visit me in Belgium, and he came for for Christmas, it was an experience. And poor thing, he doesn't speak French, so it was a lot of
Sure, it's hard.
yeah.
Wow, that's
Um,
awesome.
but so fun though, you know. I think family time is the best.
That just reminded me. My uncle Mike makes everyone. He hands out a bunch of different instruments, and for like, dude, just so you know, like 30 minutes, everyone just making noise. If it's like a drum, a triangle,
Uh-uh.
a fucking tangerine. I don't even know if that's it.
How fun
Uh,
though.
yeah,
No,
that's like
I think
that's
you.
like another
Yeah,
one.
I think I know what you mean. Oh, how fun though. Okay. Do you guys ever like record and be like, this is the like the song of 2024? You know
Not
what I mean? And then
enough. We don't film enough. There's a lot of
that would be
pictures being
fun.
taken,
Uh huh.
but they're actually digging up a bunch of old videos from like back in the day, and those are crazy to watch
Mm-hmm.
because one, you don't, I don't even recognize half of them, but it's cool to see like what was going on. Everyone when they were younger, it's a trip.
Mm-mm.
I need to film more.
I know. I feel like for me, like my dad always filmed me all the time, and he has over the years, like he has interviews of me where it's super funny because he asked me like the same questions, and it's funny to see how I answer them. Like, you know,
Oh
when I was like
wow.
younger and then older. And like, for example, there is one, I don't think it's going to make a lot of sense in English, but we have a French expression that says, so if you have, yeah, I think it's close. So in French, it's you have a green hand. It means that, like, I think in English is the green thumb.
Hmm.
Like you're good in taking care of plants and stuff. And so you see a video of me like 6 years old, and he's like, what does it mean to have a green hand? And then you see 6-year old me saying, well, you put green paint on a plate, and then you put your hand in it, and you have a green hand.
That's amazing.
And and kind of like over the years, see how you learn, and what you learn when, and it's kind of funny. So I'm like, oh
That's
my
pretty
god, I want
cool.
to do that with my son too. I can't wait. Um, but no, fun. I feel like the our parents' generation was more into. But I guess it was new at the time too, like
For
those
sure.
cameras and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, and I feel like nowadays it's easier because we have our phones, which are super easy to use right away. But I feel like we do less of the
It's weird. I just realized
filming.
that.
And then, but at the same time, I am totally in that era where you see those on social media, those meme when it says, "Well, I have 3 pictures from 0 to 6. Meanwhile, I have 32 pictures of my son between now and 4 o'clock." It's like,
Right.
yeah. But I think we need to make those meaningful or more
Yes.
meaningful because I feel like now it's super easy to just snap a picture.
Absolutely.
But
You're right. Honestly, I didn't
yeah.
realize that. I feel like I've been doing a better job. I just got a new camera, so I have been taking more photos. And even the past year, my content switched up on social media, so I've been filming myself a lot more, the
Mm-hmm.
process a lot more. But doing it with the family and stuff. Like I think we're overdue for a family picture, like all of us, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I should probably set that up.
Nice, you should. Heck yeah. Um, and it's funny you said that about filming yourself because do you consider yourself like a more like a introvert or extrovert?
I'd say introvert. Like if we're at like I don't drink or party or nothing, so like if we're at a party, like I'm probably in the corner with the homies, or I'm not like trying to be the life of the party
Mm-mm.
at all. Unless it's like a intricate group, you're with your homies, whatever. But for the most part, I would say I'm introvert. But when it's pop up time, I mean, you have no choice but to
Right.
be out there shaking hands. So I'm very comfortable now, but I prefer to just be introverted.
Introverted.
Hmm.
Okay. Because I see that I feel like Joshua and you are similar in a lot of ways. But it's funny because he's trying to get more on a social media too, but like showing himself more. And he had to now for a couple videos already for work, like be in front of the camera, be instead of only behind.
Right.
And so he's learning to like it. I think he likes it secretly, but but the thing is, he's always saying that he gets so much more interaction when he's actually
Oh yeah.
in front of the camera.
Oh yeah. I mean, what I realize is nobody cares about the work.
Right.
I mean, they just want to see what you're doing.
I
So
know.
it almost has nothing to do with the final product, what project you're
Yeah.
working on. Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't even matter if you're saying or doing something interesting, because I've noticed that too. Like for the podcast, I'm at a lot of videos now, but I've been filming videos to make a vlog about the behind the scene. I don't film enough, but I already have over 300 videos of little things, but life stuff. And
Right.
I need to start editing. That would be great. But I feel like sometimes people, and especially with the social media era, people are like kind of not sneaky, that's not the right word. I want to say, I'm not gonna find it. People like to spy, not spy, but like
I say
kind of know what you're doing without you knowing that they know what you're doing.
people are interested.
And
People
so,
are interested. They're nosy. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like we're all a little nosy.
yeah. And I was gonna
Like,
say,
I want to see what Wiz Khalifa's doing at 9 a.m.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? So, like, I get it, and I feel like you just got to find your group,
Yeah.
especially social media. You got to come to realize that, I mean, at some point, you're going to stop promoting to your friends and your family because they don't care. You got to find your audience, like, on the wave, the inner wave, or, locally you find your niche. And, yeah, that's the new pocket, like personal branding online's, that's my focus. I've been, the past year and a half to 2 years, I've been showing myself more, getting more comfortable with it. A lot of people like the content. I get a lot of feedback on it. I'm trying to get more comfortable with it. Like lately, I've been posting every day. I got in the good habit of just knocking them out. Now, the quantity is there, but now I'm kind of losing quality because now I'm just pumping it out. But I don't even care.
Well, I was gonna say, I guess it depends, because when people like your personality and what you like, your vibe and your aura, I feel like no matter what you post, people are just gonna cheer you on, right?
Right.
But if it's your people, like you said, you have to find your people.
And with me pushing merch, it's kind of hard sometimes to not be. I never try to be pushy because at the end of the day, I can't force a sale. Like if it's gonna be there, it's gonna be there. But you got to be sneaky on how you promote it. And sometimes I'm just out there like, look, new hat dropped, go get it. So those videos never do as well as you think, even if the video's cool, the quality's there, product's there.
Yeah.
I had a video of me doing a giveaway, and it got like a good 25,000 views. And, for what it's worth, I mean, besides that being like a cool little number to hit, it's not like it did anything for the page. Obviously, it blew up the giveaway. Like, I had a lot of entries, and that's a good thing. But it was me talking the whole time. I did have a good intro on that video. But it's one of those things where, I do notice where if I'm in front of the camera, it's funny. I even noticed back then the pictures of me always did better. And it wasn't like out of being cocky or even confidence. Like, it was just like I noticed mine always did better. And now it's like people want to see me. So I got to, I'm not always trying to model, but like the reels or the BTS, me packaging, like I'll probably shoot one later. People want to see that for sure. It's interesting because I also, for a long time, I always was trying to make it perfect, the perfect aesthetic. And my girl had to tell me, like, it's not perfect.
Right.
It is what it is. And, you just got to start somewhere,
Yeah, we kind of get each other like that with Joshua too, because we both get like caught in perfection, right? And being like, oh, but it's not good. I can't share it right now, or I'll do it tomorrow, or oh no, we have to reshoot it. And then at some point you just have to say, it's good. It's good enough. It has to go out. And
for sure.
Because either way, what's perfect? And at the same time, that's also the frustrating part that I'm trying to learn, is that sometimes you spend like 5 minutes on the reel and that one hits like 6,000 views. and which is probably not a whole lot, but
That's a
that's
lot.
my highs right
That's
now.
a lot.
And then one that I spent hours on, and I looked at and at the caption and this and that,
It's funny how that
and that one does
works.
like 231 views, and you're like,
Yeah.
but
And
it's the game.
sometimes, I think it could be depending on the reel, but sometimes like the less I care and just get it out there, one of those are gonna hit.
Right.
Especially if you're posting consistently.
Mm-mm.
Like I kind of accept it. The more I post, the views may plateau a little bit, but the more I'm just reminding people that we're here.
Right.
And like me knowing, like as far as clothing brand goes, I know we're the most consistent in terms of not even posting, but just dropping and
Yeah.
getting stuff out there, pushing units and getting these collabs, So I try to just be that example that, I was kind of looking for when I started.
Oh, yeah.
Like I didn't see a brand who was like just doing, absolutely everything.
I mean, you had a collab with um
There's been a lot.
I know, but I was thinking the football team, right? The soccer team,
United.
United.
Yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
So I'm blanking, but and then I mean, I saw videos with you and the mayor. I'm like, it's funny because you know what? You had done that collab or you had that video with the mayor, and
Uh-huh.
then randomly, like a couple weeks later, we went on a hike with Joshua and my son.
No way.
And we're like walking and hiking, and then I see this dude, and I'm like looking at him,
No
and then
way.
I was like, "Are you the mayor?"
No way. Dude, he's such a good guy.
He was just hiking, and the thing is, maybe I should have, but I was just starting the podcast, and I told Joshua, I was like, maybe I should ask him to be a guest, But then I'm like, dude, I'm nobody. At that point I didn't even release one episode. Like I was gonna record the first one and all that,
Right.
but and then I was like, I was too like, thinking about it. It was like, no, he's hiking with his family. Leave him alone, And maybe one day he'll be the, I
Right.
guess
I mean,
we'll see,
I could put it in his ear for sure. It's funny you brought that up because I know you just started the podcast, and one of the reasons why I'm here is because I noticed the quality, and there's people who've asked me to be on their podcast, and I've had to decline it because the audio ain't there, the video ain't there, the setup ain't there. You just don't show me no passion. There's a lot of things that can kind of turn me off. So, that was one thing that's been important is just quality and having a standard. And it's okay to say no sometimes.
Oh, it is totally. And see, it's insane. Thank you so much because so the first two episodes they were supposed to be filmed, and actually Joshua was supposed to film them. The thing is, for the first episode, it was blurry. The video, I don't know what happened. We were outside. We had good mics though. The audio was pretty good on that first one. That second, but
Right.
but then see, that's why I figured I was like, this is what I want to do. Like this is what makes me vibe, and I'm just like, I love talking to people, I love talking, and I was like, damn. And I'm so generally interested in people's life.
For sure.
Maybe I'm interesting too, I don't know, but all that to say that I was like, damn, this is what I want to do. So after the second episode hit with Patsy, I was like, I need to upgrade this can't go on just audio, this can't go on. And the second episode, the audio is awful. And so I was like, ugh. And so I looked up podcast studios here in Albuquerque, and honestly, I couldn't really find. I think I saw another one, but it was kind of like I couldn't see the pricing, and it was a weird setup. I don't know. But then I found here the Albuquerque podcast studio, and I contacted Lester, and at least actually at first, sorry, they were in another location, and then I went, and it's funny, if I ever release those vlogs, I have a tour of that
Oh, nice.
that setup that he had over there, and but then it was like, then we had a talk with Joshua because I was like, well, it's money, then you start investing in yourself, and he was like believing in it already like 1,000%. So it's like, no, I think you should. And it took that weight off of him too, to have to be the cameraman and all that good stuff.
Right.
And so that became that episode with Josh was the first one that we filmed like for real here, and I'm so excited. I'm just like,
Let's go.
this is insane. I know. And so
I love that.
I know. I hope that it's gonna catch on, and that a lot more people want to come and tell their own stories,
Hmm.
and I hope to do that for the rest of my life because
I love that.
I just love it. Thank you. That's so yeah, cheering people and putting the spotlight, and also it's funny because I mean I haven't watched the podcast you've been on, and so I don't know really what they do, but I want to give the mic to people like you and me, like not people that have like millions of followers, right?
Right.
It's like it's not what it's about. Like I feel like people that have a lot of followers and artists, like I mean singers and stuff, like big artists, they have their own platforms to, or
Hmm.
platforms to go talk to, and I mean of course it's always interesting to dig deep, oh sorry, deeper into people's lives, but us, the little people, we have
The little guys.
incredible stories to tell.
Honestly, I think about it's like the soft underbelly.
Mm-hmm.
And like those
Mm-hmm.
people, I mean, I don't want to call them nobodies, but
No, but
they're literally people just out of the blue. And those videos seem to just be very, you know, it's hard to script those because you don't know how
how
they're
people
going to
are gonna.
react or. So I admire people who step into the space because, I know the cameras and stuff can be intimidating, but
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I like expressing what I've gone through, what I experience. And I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So keep doing it.
Thank you.
For sure.
All right. So I asked you, brothers and sisters. I had another question in mind about. Okay. So when you said, um, you're creative and all, when little Frankie, what did you dream of becoming when you were a kid?
My first dream was probably to be a running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That
Okay.
was probably my first dream. And then I wanted to be a pro skater.
Okay.
And then honestly an artist, but like at the time, people were telling me it's not a thing, you don't make money.
Mm.
It's very discouraging to younger Frankie because everyone was telling me it wasn't possible. But I'd see people doing it. And I remember one time my parents are big into Rachel Ray. And one time my mom was like, but she's Rachel Ray.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, yeah, but she's always been Rachel Ray. It's not like one day it switched and she's
Right.
now this person. Like, imagine telling that person they can't cook and eventually they become. So, I just always had the mindset of like, I know it's possible. I just need to figure out my way there. And I forgot the initial question.
So what did you dream of becoming when you
Oh,
were
yeah,
younger?
yeah.
But so you didn't like have the usual like I want to be a firefighter or
Oh, no. It was always art. It was
always
always.
art. That's cool.
Yeah, it was always art. I just didn't know how to get there.
Mm-mm.
So I lost the dream and the vision for a while. And this was young me too, like not even high school yet. And I feel like leaving high school, getting into psychedelics a little bit, kind of opened up my
Mm.
mind to like new stuff and I just felt like I could do it at that point. And I remember just starting and I remember the first shirt I screen printed and I was like, wow, like this is sick. But I've never had an intention with the brand. I think that's why it does so
Mhm.
well. I have intention now and
Okay.
more, direction. But I was just having fun, and it wasn't about,
Yeah.
like I said, even quality. Like I was just
Yeah.
having fun. So I'm glad I was able to make it work. It's a blessing.
But it's funny because it's twice now that it makes me think of that, so I'm gonna tell that story. But so when you first started to like screen printing, it was your own design already.
Yeah.
Because see, like it made me think of my dad. Always told me that story of him when he was younger. It was a thing back then.
Hmm.
After concert, you would always see people come in with like shirts
Yeah.
of that person, and it was not like at the time it wasn't like a branded shirt from the group or that person, that singer,
Right.
but you had like a bunch of people that did like screen printing or like printed on shirts and came to like sell a shirt of
Hmm.
like with Britney Spears' face or whatever, and so. And I even remember he loved to screen like to print Coca-Cola t-shirt. It's
That's
like
pretty dope.
I don't know why,
I
but
want one.
but he just I don't know. I feel like he had this little like creative moment in his life, and he just loved doing that. And maybe I kind of like took that from him a little,
Hmm.
but so it's interesting that at first, it was really like your own design that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I feel like, in the beginning, I wasn't happy with the shirts. Like, think younger Frankie during Christmas, I'd get these shirts I didn't like. Never liked the clothing I got.
Oh,
Never liked it. It always
okay.
sucked. It's either different or like they call me hand me down Frankie. I always get everyone's
Uh-huh.
leftovers,
Oh, shit. Okay.
clothing wise.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kinda got sick of it, and I was like, let me make my own shirts.
Is it because you had like a lot of older cousins and stuff, and you were just
Yeah,
and they were
I was always the smallest one, so I would get everyone's as soon as they got fat and outgrew it, I got it.
here? Okay.
And yeah, I love and of course I like the vintage style. My
Yeah.
dad's like a big biker. He's not like a big biker guy, but he's like into, he got a Harley. He's in the whole
Mm-mm.
thing. So I get like a lot of those T-shirts, the early football tees,
Okay.
stuff like that. But yeah,
Nice.
I feel like at first it was like, I just had ideas and
But it
you
was to
know,
dress yourself. Like it
yeah,
was to kind of
and it's
change your
still like
wardrobe.
that. Like if
Heck yeah.
if I need a new summer hat, it's like let's just make one. Or I'm glad we got into the socks because now the socks I just wear daily, and it's like I kind of make stuff out of necessity, like if I need it, or
Yeah.
like literally if I have a hat and I don't have the shirt to match it, like we'll literally make it. And
That's dope.
sometimes it's more like we'll have a Valentine's Day drop that's completely themed to that, but for the most part I kind of just solve my own problems, honestly.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Or like when we need new sweats,
Right?
I just drop
Yeah.
new pairs.
Heck
That's why
yeah.
I try not to wear or buy other clothing unless I'm thrifting. I only buy like thrifted clothes, local clothes, or just inventory for myself.
Nice. Okay. Huh. And so, because you only have small batches, right? Is
Yeah.
it like, is there like a reason behind it, or is it just like pure like inventory wise to not kind of like stay with stuff and make sure it sells?
I don't like sitting on inventory. Obviously, the smaller batches, there's more like exclusivity there. People want it and they got to get it quick. Or,
Mm-mm.
sometimes like I've been sitting on designs for years and I'm tired of looking at it. So sometimes like by the time it drops, I'm over it
I
because I've
understand.
seen it
Okay.
for so long.
Right.
I've been pushing it. I've been working on it. So I get kind of tired of them relatively quickly.
Mm-mm.
So with that being said, like if I still have the shirt 6 months later, it's like get it
Mm.
out of here.
Which is pretty cool because then we're just always in the now, right? In your head of, okay, this is what's like creatively what you've just been doing, and
Yeah, it's like this is the right now project.
Mm-mm. Yeah. And
Sometimes
so,
we'll have leftovers or something we'll carry into the next year. Like our December drops always creep into that next year.
mm-mm.
So we always kind of have that thing of like, oh yeah, this is last season stuff, or.
Yeah.
But I have people who like you should just have a shirt online all the time,
Huh.
which is cool, and I would love that, but it just doesn't make sense. Um,
Yeah, but then it
like
also
short-term
by
wise.
doing that, you kind of like force people to just stay and be loyal, right? And be like, well, you missed it this time, but better stick
I
around
love
and
telling
make
people
sure to.
I love telling them they're late and they missed out. I love telling them because half the time they've already hit me up.
Uh-oh.
Hey, give me this, and they never fall through. So
Ah,
I hit them. Yes, it's gone.
right.
Sorry, bro. All the time. You'd be surprised. That's why I push the online because technically you pay a little more online. You'll beat everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. But I do meet up with a lot of people for like delivery and stuff,
Mhm.
which is obviously I do like hook people up and stuff like that. But that website's gonna get you what you want
Oh yeah.
as quick as you
Mhm.
got it.
Nice. Okay.
So it's cool, I like to do the pop ups too, but if I can get the online popping, I will never have to pop up again.
Mm-mm.
At least as frequently as I
Yeah. So
do.
okay, then it brings me to that question. Then I wanted to ask you is where do you see Own the Day in like the future? Is it something that you think is gonna stay like an online shop? Would you like to have your own shop? Would you like to even have like shops all over the world? I'm a big fan of already seeing like 52 steps ahead.
For sure.
That helps. I just love doing that. I know some people, and it gives anxiety to some people, and they're just like in the now, which is fine too.
Right. There's a balance.
But yeah, what type of person are you? Are you already thinking of the future, or?
I keep it in mind.
Okay.
I'm very day to day. Very day to day. I honestly I don't see Own the Day having a storefront. I don't think it would work, honestly.
Okay.
What I would like to do is maybe be an investor with like a coffee shop, and then there's a little Own the Day section, or more of like a side thing. And my dream is to have a big warehouse, and then we have a storefront with an office, and it's just kind of there. It's not necessarily open, but it's there.
It's there. Okay. A warehouse to ship from, and
Yeah.
just keep it online, basically.
Or the Mike Giant, he has like art nights, and the shop would be open. Like if I let everyone in,
right. Yeah, it's funny because I did see a reel. I think it was a reel where you said like for the your was it your blue shirt, the blue? I can't think. You were saying that your thought process behind that shirt was that you wanted, like, it was kind of a type of shirt that someone in Hawaii would find in like a thrift store and be like, oh shit, that's a cool shirt. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of like maybe where you want to go, is that having it at like pop-ups or like art shows, or
it's more of like keep it online. I want to stay as direct to customer as possible. I don't like the idea of drop ship. I don't even like the idea of someone else running my booth yet. Without me there, because it's still such a personal thing.
Yeah, right.
Right. People are, So, I'm finding that balance. Doing the pop-ups are super fun. It's like something I enjoy. It's like a reward. It's definitely like a grind. But where I see it going is, I've always wanted to just build like another Red Bull. That's always been like a huge inspiration, like sponsor athletes and throw events and just do a bunch of fun stuff, because like we can.
Right.
And that's my goal with Own the Day. I do want to venture and like start a nonprofit completely separate that could possibly help build and or fund Own the Day. I don't even see. I'm still working it out. I don't know if you can do that, but build each other up.
Yeah.
I want my own like hot sauce or barbecue sauce.
Okay.
So I want to tap into that industry maybe in the next 5 to 10 years. But I feel like once the name's out, let's say I have a hot sauce. I already have all these people who trust the name already, who buy the shirts. So if they see the hot sauce, I feel like it could be something I could dabble in. No pun intended, but one of those things where I can drift off and do stuff I really want, and maybe I'm just an investor, but since I do design, we do it all, I think the branding could be super sick, and I would just love to do it.
Yeah, it's funny because when you say that, I think of people I follow from like Belgium and stuff. Like I follow like a bunch of like influencer, like family influencer women, but they also have their own branding like stuff. But some of them, because they pay so much attention to detail and quality, that that whatever they invest in or whatever other product they create, it's going to be good.
Right.
And so that's kind of like how you feel, right? It's whatever, like when people trust Own the Day and trust that, the quality of stuff that you sell, whatever you're going to go with or discover, it's going to be good no matter what.
I've been watching this guy, Raphael Tats, on Instagram, and he's been teaching me a lot about personal branding and like building that trust, because like I'm hooked on his page, his content, and what him and his team are doing. So when he just dropped this new pomade, and I've been eyeballing it forever. And it's one of those things where like you feel like them, so you trust the product. So that's what I'm trying to do online, because the people here trust me. If you know.
Right.
You kind of get a feel who I am. You could trust me in, XYZ. But the people in the UK, they don't know me on that level. So as I build the worldwide audience, I'm just trying to build that trust over the phone and, be on camera a lot more.
Yeah.
That's what it is now.
Yeah. I think you have that type of personality that when we look at you, it's like, yeah, he's honest.
Right. You could trust his face.
That was a really good one too. That I will be able to pause and use for our little
Nice.
whatever. What is it called? Thumbnail for YouTube, whatever. So
Oh yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a good one.
yeah, I wanted to go back. So who were you growing up? Like, what was your personality? Were you the cool guy in school? Were you the like shy one?
I was always shy,
Okay.
but I was always cool.
Cool and shy.
I
That
was
works.
always cool. Like I never had problems with anyone who like didn't have problems with themselves. You know what I mean? Like I just stay out the way. And it's kind of funny, like not in a cocky way or anything, you know. But I remember like when I was younger, in the classrooms, we'd have like forget what it'd be called, but like you can do the runs for the teacher or you can go pick up copies.
Oh, yeah,
My mom was
yeah,
also
yeah.
a teacher at my elementary school.
Okay.
So I could go visit my mom. I could, I kind of had it like that, you
Uh-huh.
know. But people always wanted to come with me, kind of thing. And I remember noticing that as a kid, not really thinking too much of it, but maybe I felt like I always had like a magnetic energy to those that matched me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not gonna dabble anything that just isn't for me. So I feel like if you put it out there, you always get it back
Mm-mm.
for sure.
Yeah, so which makes me think, okay, so you said you're not like religious. Do you? I'm not either.
Hmm.
For me, I wouldn't say I don't believe in anything. I feel like I believe in energies and
Hmm.
like the law of attraction and all
For
that good
sure.
stuff. Same like we're energy, right? It's like we're cells, we're
Hmm.
energy, positive and negative, and I feel like we attract what we put out there. Is it something that you feel more like that relates more to you, or are you just an atheist?
I'd say yeah. I believe in energy. I feel like it's all energy, good
Mhm.
or bad.
Mhm.
Jesus, devil, whatever. It's all energy.
Right. Okay. No, that makes sense.
Hmm.
So, okay, you were kind of like cool and shy.
I was always cool, for
You were
sure.
always
I was
cool.
always cool.
So you seem also pretty confident. Is it something that was always there?
I'd say no. Like I remember me being ashamed of like having hair on my arms.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember like stuff like that. But
Uh-huh.
now like I've just embraced who I am because there's no changing it.
Mm-mm.
Visually, physically, I mean you could change your physical appearance, I guess, but you know, it is what you see is what you get, and I
Yeah.
don't think there's escaping that, you know. So I feel like the more you can accept people, you can accept other people's flaws, and I've always lived by if they can't accept you, they haven't accept themselves. So it's one of those things where you just gotta be happy in your own skin.
It's funny you say that because I feel like I'm learning too, and you're younger than me, so I mean, I'm so happy you know that this early on because I'm just realizing now that most of the time when people shit on you for your physique or whatever, it's most likely because they're talking to themselves,
Oh
right?
my gosh, yeah, we had a we had an own the day hater like a few weeks ago.
For real?
There's a few out there. There's not many, but there's a few. But it just goes to show, like, you know, I don't. I always try to be a helping hand.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see that, especially like just indirectly,
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of like, all right, well, that's your energy. Like you're not gonna
Yeah.
last. That's not like community building. So, I've also never had an ego because I'm forever a student. Like even to bring up Josh again, I could have at the time. I felt like I knew a lot until I met someone who knew a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you just gotta always be learning, and you can't take people for granted, or you know, uh, maybe if you're better than this, you can always learn something.
Yeah.
So that's my mentality. And I feel like we're stronger together.
Right.
And if we can build each other up, I think that's a win-win.
Mm-mm.
So that's a tip I'm on. But there is some on the day haters out there, and we
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah, it's crazy because you know what? I had my first hater too.
No way. I think I saw.
That
Did you
dude
post
that
it or no?
I on my story, yeah, I put that the person, and it's a fake account. But that person was like, what did they say? Like it was on the reel with Aritza where we talk about that she wants to go to Europe this year, like visit of course, and I'm talking about Belgium, how small my home country is, and that it's cool in Europe. You can go left and right. And that person in the comments was like, um, well, shut down the podcast and go back to your country or whatever.
That's crazy.
Shocked. I was like, oh, okay. And my first reaction is I wanted to defend myself. And
Right.
my sister, she was sweet. She kind of like, yeah, did it. She kind of like left a comment and mentioned that it was like a fake account, whatever. And I told her, I was like, it's not even worth it. Because then I wanted to put like ironically like, thank you for your comment. We'll take it into account. Like, you know,
Right.
something like that. And then I was just like, it's not worth it. But I was like, for real, like, and you could see that the account was just created and it was like fake stuff. And then, yeah, and I'm always so intrigued by who has the time
Exactly.
to do stuff like
I feel like
that.
once I start typing for too long, it's already done. Like,
Right?
yeah, you're doing too much.
Yeah, like I would not, even if I hated someone so bad, oh, the time to go create an account, get that fake picture, and do this and that, and then go put and then be like, and put the comment.
Right? And you
I'm
know,
already over it.
it's not in it for people like us to either entertain it or
Oh, no,
indulge in it. So, you know, I kind of just take it as a compliment. And I just know those people don't last.
yeah. Right.
You know, like if you're not in the game willing to like build each other up. Now, there's some shady people
Oh,
who
yeah.
are very successful, but I've always just wanted to do clean business. And every time you hear the name, it's just nothing but good things. And I was just watching this YouTube video the other day about forgot what they called it, but it was pretty much like if someone vouches for you, it could go a long way. And you know, I didn't go to school for design or for anything, so for me, I really rely on my resume and my name and the reputation
Right.
to like get me through these doors that luckily do,
An experience.
for sure.
Yeah, well, you see, it's interesting because I feel like sometimes too, and it depends, I guess, the area of specialty. But if you have the experience, and I've always, for me, any like student job or job, I've always been like, I'm a hard worker. Whatever challenge you throw my way, I'll just face it head on. And I love challenges.
For
just,
sure,
you know,
me too.
and even if it's something I don't know, I'll go and I'll do the research and I'll just, you know, and I'll
Except
do it.
golf, I don't.
You don't
I'm
golf?
not gonna figure out golf.
You know what? I love mini golf though.
I could get down on that.
See, real golf, or the thing I really don't get is that tub golf. I
Forget about it.
I just do it like twice and then I'm like, all right.
Honestly, my boy works there, and I just go hang out and eat. I don't
There we
even.
go. Yeah,
I'll
not
let the
it.
homies do that.
But I mean, good for you know,
Right.
to each their own, really. But to me, mini golf is so much more fun, and then just yeah, I don't. But it looks easy. But Josh
Right.
from BQ Live was telling me it's actually not that easy. But you know, it's I guess that's why it's also a sport. But yeah, I'm
True
not
that,
into
yeah.
that either. And I forgot what I was gonna say, but so okay, I wanted to dive into something else, but I'm trying to think because I know we talked about maybe like going live at some point.
Oh, I'm down.
And
We can throw it up
so-
whenever.
But for Instagram,
Oh, for-
because I wanted to talk about, I don't know if it's okay with you,
Yeah.
like kind of like your path into illegal substances.
Yeah.
And so, but is it something we can talk on the
I'm
live on
down.
Instagram or maybe after?
Oh, like, can we post it or am I
or
okay
if you
with
go,
talk- Oh,
yeah,
I
if
don't
you go
care.
live, I mean, you know.
Oh,
it's
yeah, I don't
not-
give a shit.
Yeah, but okay, I just don't want
Yeah,
your
yeah.
account to go down or whatever because
Oh.
you know what I mean.
I don't think it would. I don't think it would.
Or we could keep it for after or whatever. I'm just trying to see.
I say we do it.
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully people are on. What time is it?
What? Yeah,
3?
3.
On a Tuesday? Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if,
We can. I mean,
if
we're
4
already
people...
at 48 minutes, so it's up to you. We can wait a little longer. Or,
Maybe we'll do it for like a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm down. We'll see how it goes.
yeah,
If
and then
we-
we could just leave it on, right? If
I'm
people,
down.
Is that okay? Oh, okay.
Let's see who's on. Let's see if Instagram's active. I might need actually, I probably need the Wi-Fi.
I just realized that's one of your
Thank you.
shirts. I love that shirt.
Yeah, it's a sample
so
actually.
sick.
This is what the this is the main one, and on the back we have the sample colors, like a lighter purple. But to sample it, we just threw it on this front. And
Mm.
yeah, but it looks cool on the.
It does. I like the not symmetrical design, whatever. Like the I don't know how you say that in English. That happens a lot in my life. I don't know how to say words, but
We're gonna do it. And honestly, like I don't even. If there's 4 people on there, that's okay.
oh yeah,
That's okay.
You know what? They learn to know that they have to be.
What do you think it should be?
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And if I think what we did last time
okay.
is if you not joined me,
Oh yeah.
but if you were also on it in case anyone
Sure.
asked questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get her too.
Can we do wide angle? Do you think, or like if we, or I don't know.
I was even thinking.
Yeah, could we try right there? Yeah. Let's see. Huh? Oh no, we're good to. Maybe I'll cut like a couple seconds, like right, like.
I don't mind. I think
Yeah.
I think it's cool and funny, honestly.
Oh yeah, it's the chill.
I like it, honestly. Hit it. Oh, you should put on add a title. Be like, ask me questions. Ask questions.
Hehe. That's on the day.
Ask something spicy or something.
I don't feel like that.
Ask some. Yeah, I don't go live too often. Last time I was live, we had like 40 people on there. And I feel like that was bananas.
Cool.
I think I'm down. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let me get.
Ooh, let me see if I find it too, and it goes on. You are now live. Ooh. Maybe I'll let you. Huh? Own the day.
On the day.
Own the day 47.
Yeah, I'll go get you an air freshener. I got one in the car.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess maybe I'll let you do the intro on the live so that people know what's going on. Or I mean, so welcome everybody. we're live from Marie+One. Actually, let me put that in the comments too. It's my podcast, and Frankie is my +1 today, is my guest. And so we thought Frankie thought it would be cool to just have a little section live, so that it can kind of give you a little sneak peek of the episode.
Yep.
And then you can go, I heard me like, yeah, vibe here. Oh, but there's only 2 people in there, so.
Oh, they're coming in.
Marie.
And honestly, if they ask something, cool. If they don't, also cool. But I think it'd be cool for just for the live.
Oh,
So
yeah.
good.
Oh,
perfect.
Thank you. You're amazing. All right. Cool.
They said, "What's up, Frank the Tank?" That's my cousin Hannah who just gave me that Jeep. So shout out to Hannah
It's super
from
cool.
Florida.
Okay, if you have another Jeep, I mean, you know. So sick.
Damn, there's 8 people in here.
Nice.
Okay, what's up, Am? All the homies are in here. They said any collab soon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're trying to work on a hydro bar collab.
Ooh.
I'm calling it like when it rains it pours. Own the day hydro bar. It's pretty cool. I should have brought my computer, but that's the next move. We're trying to do like a water reactive garment. So it's pretty much like water reactive ink that if it's hydrated, if you jump in a pool, get wet, if it's raining, a design will appear.
Oh.
We're kind of messing with those ideas. Have you heard the hydro bar?
Yeah.
Great guys. Shout out to Timo.
Is that what you sometimes you post it right on your story or on your stuff that you just have like that jug of water and okay.
For sure. Those are good guys. That's the next.
Stay hydrated.
That's the next project right there.
Nice. So, I mean, we'll keep an eye on the chat.
For sure.
But if you don't mind, I wanted to ask you, like, go back to our conversation and say, because you kind of like sneak peeked us earlier, talking about substances. Would you like to let us know? Like, I'm curious to know because you're 26. So, when did you start? What did you start with?
I was actually just talking to someone earlier about this. I think me and my boy Carter kind of got into mushrooms like in high school.
Oh, wow.
It was kind of like just the thing me and him did. It was like, very spiritual, very very profound those early years. And who knows, I might have been too early for some of them, but
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of profound moments out of those for sure. And I kind of just stuck to that.
Was that your first your first thing you tried, or did you like try smoking before that?
Oh
or-
yeah, I was smoking like freshman year. I was like the first one to smoke out of my friends.
How did you get into that?
Um, I just had a homie who was like, I think the first time I smoked weed, the guy was like, I was walking to my history class,
Wow.
and the guy pulled me out the hallway. He's like, "Hey, you want to smoke in the bathroom real quick?" I was like, "I guess." And I hit it before my history class. I was high as fuck in the class.
Mm.
That was cool, but you know, met some other homies who like put me on. You know, I had a homie who introduced me to like the foil pipe, the apple pipe. Yeah, so there was different levels of smoking weed. We got to the
Okay.
bong. Now we roll our own kind of thing. But yeah, I've always been smoking weed. Not like my whole life, you know, just like
Yeah.
freshman year to now, which is I guess half my life now. But
Okay. So as a because see the thing is I did actually. Well, no, I've never smoked weed. One time though, I was really young. I think I must have been 9, maybe. We were at my aunt's, and she lived in the countryside in Belgium. And we were in the yard with my mom, and then she had me and my cousin like take a how do you say that, like a puff or whatever.
like a hit.
Yeah, take a hit on her cigarette.
Oh my gosh.
We went back inside. My cousin was green. He was about to throw up. And for me, I was just like coughing like crazy. And my aunt's husband, he's like into like jujitsu, and he's like drinking milk all the time, super
Yeah.
healthy dude. And he saw us come back inside like half dead, and he was like, "What the hell is going on?" And I don't to this day I don't think he knows, but that
Oh,
was
man.
you know my first experience with that. And then honestly, I've never really gotten into that. And to me, weed stinks. So you know, I guess my dad used to smoke weed, and he kind of made me smell one time. And I was
You're-
just like,
oh, yeah.
no. And he was like, "Oh, you're so lucky, because to me it smells so good." And I was just like, "Yeah, no, thank you." Um, so I've never really tried anything. I know we talked about maybe trying some mushrooms eventually, but I'm so scared of that though.
I think it'd be cool if you guys microdosed, kind of
Mhm.
eased your way into it. Unless you're like looking for your higher angel, I wouldn't take nothing more than, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just have fun with it, do it. I have this design actually. It's called what does it say? It's like enjoy the unusual responsibly. Like, you know, just take a little bit, do your microdose, but you don't need to overdo it.
Yeah.
Even same with weed, same with drinking. You don't need to overdo anything.
So the first time you did mushrooms, though, did you just like trip? Like,
Oh,
what
yeah, I
did you
remember
see
me and
the
my
first
Me
time?
and my boy Carter were we were at the park, and it was like it wasn't working, and like we were there like, what the fuck. And with the tree started to look like a weed nug, and we started just laughing. That's when the trip started. Then it ended with us like at the mountains having this deep ass conversation, and oh man, like if you can, like I was just having this convo, it's crazy. If you can get through like the stomach pain, because it's like technically, I'm the wrong person to talk technical, but it's like a food poisoning. Like the mushrooms are meant to kind of make you sick.
Mm-mm.
But if you could get past the stomach pain and the anxiousness, you'll have the best trip of your life. But it does bring out stuff like you're maybe running away from. Like you will be faced with
I know that's what I'm scared
whatever,
of.
you know. It's then take a little, you know, because
Mm-mm.
unless you're looking for answers,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like it's cool to just take a little bit. Like we microdose like sometimes on the mountain when we're snowboarding, but I don't do it anymore. It's not something. I'm gonna say I'm not interested in it, but it doesn't like I'm not looking for that anymore. Like I'm cool with like the weed.
Yeah.
I don't really drink, so yeah, I just like the weed.
Mm-mm. So you're pretty much like not. No, yeah, just weed right now, right? Like not
Oh,
much
yeah.
more than that.
Before this
Mm-mm.
and after.
Okay. I'm actually, you know, it's funny because I used to be this like black or white person that would think that, you know, it's either like weed is bad and you know all that good stuff.
For sure.
And then you, of course, you live, you learn, and I'm more open to it. But also because growing up, I mean, my dad has been smoking since he's really young, and for him he used to be like this bipolar person. Like he would be so stressed and then super mean, and we got hit on a bunch, and then he would go smoke and come back, and he's a different person. So we learned that, we were like trying, we were crying and stuff, and then with my sister we would like, kind of push each other to, swallow the tears, because after you cry sometimes you're like, and we would be like, keep it in, because he's coming back, and he's coming back complete different person. And so he would get mad again if he realized that you were still like in that after crying mode, whatever. So to me that was weed, know. And so I always associated that to not being bipolar, because like you said, I'm not an expert, and it is the wrong word to use. But to that, dissociated personality of, okay, now he's gonna smoke, he's gonna become normal, he's gonna be a normal person.
Right.
But now, I'm learning that it actually helps people and all that good stuff. But
it makes people lazy too. It makes people really chill. Everyone's different. For me, I just feel like it calms me down. My boy Carter, bro, is he in here? We were just talking about our first shroom trip. My boy Carter, he was with me. He knows.
Oh.
But now I feel like I just smoke to chill out. It does kind of allow me to chill with my thoughts, or settle with my thoughts.
Okay.
I like to do it before the gym. I feel like it just taps me in. Because the gym's busy, especially Choose. I don't know if you've ever been to Choose at 6 p.m., but it's a doghouse. So for me to just go in there, tap in, do what I got to do, it just allows me to focus, But I've also been smoking a long time, so my tolerance is like at a good area, and I know when to smoke, how much to smoke. I feel like I'm talking master weed class right now.
No, but I mean, it's interesting to me. It's interesting too, because one of my sisters for the longest time, and I mean, we were talking really chill about, for me, like growing up traumas, but for my sister, she told me that for years she used it to fall asleep, because she still had like traumas from us growing up, but. I mean, it helps people in different ways, but it's funny you say master, because at the same time, I mean, it's interesting it's actually good to know your body and know when to use it, what for, to be productive, or to use it the best way possible, and so pretty cool.
I feel like sometimes you get the right amount, and I'll just be right where I need to be in my pocket.
Okay. Did you ever use that or shrooms for like your creative process, or no?
Mushrooms not necessarily. Like I didn't take them to like tap in creatively, but maybe every time I'm on them, I'd say I'm creative. But it's just honestly, I'd say the weed's kind of in my regular routine, to where it's not even. I don't do it for anything. I'm just already doing it, honestly. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, that's probably that's why I was gonna say, because I don't know if you saw the episode with Kusha K, but I was telling him, like Ethan, that I felt like I was his big sister, kind of a little bit like you. And it's funny because your sister's 31 and I'm about to be 32, but so. I feel protective of you too. I'm like, sure. All right.
For sure. And I'm honestly thankful for that, because, like I said, I'm always the youngest one. So I feel like I have a lot of people who just look out for me, which is a good feeling. That's why I want to be the one to kind of help a hand, or like if I see someone's creative enough in anything, I try to get them to pursue it, because I know what it did for me. And like, I feel like, even my little cousin's like mad creative, and it's like, if only you can do it at that age. Oh man, I think the sooner you start, the better. But I don't think there's any late point to start.
Oh no,
you just gotta start.
And especially because if you look back in time to a lot of like those big painters and creatives, first of all, like most of them had like this one masterpiece of their life, but also because life expectancy
I don't think I can say that word either.
Was like 40 years old at the time. So, you had like this one big like masterpiece or painting that
Yep.
you would do whatever. But most of them started really late too, like late 30s, early 40s, and or even like we follow this painter Mark Majori, amazing painter. He lives in Taos, I think Taos, and but he's French and he lives here and all that good stuff. And so, but I feel like he's been like really like exploding on social media, but for like the past, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but you know, a couple years, and he's in his I think 40s. He's probably never gonna see this episode, but if he does and I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But no, so you know, it's like if you're passionate about something, go for it. And I'm the same as you. I'm like, I want to push people to actually do it, which brings me to ask you. So, how was your childhood with that? Because I mean, you don't have a, how do you say that, like a career that, you know, like most parents would say. Like my parents always wanted me to be like whatever, like a lawyer or la la la. Is it something that your parents have a problem with you being a creative, or did they always push you?
Nah, they're both creative too. My dad was in a band for a long time. My mom's a teacher. And my mom's mad creative. They're both creative, so I feel like I'm the one to do it. That's how I really feel.
There you go.
You know, but you know, they've always supported me. I feel like once I started to not make money, but at least be able to, you know, pay my bills or whatever it is, like once I showed them I could do it, I feel like they trust me a lot more. And you know, I brought them to the United game when I did the kickoff, and that was super sick because usually they have like a big person do that, so I didn't feel like I was in position to do so, but it felt cool to do it. And like they were telling my whole bio over the megaphone in front of everyone, and you know, they see the pictures with the mayor and stuff like that. So, you know, I feel like they're definitely like, I'd say they're proud. I think it's a blessing to see it like grow, or like even the fashion show. There's so many moments where I feel like even I step back and I'm like, that was done all because I put in the work. And it's cool because no one's telling me what to do. You know, I have a lot of input. I try to take in a lot of feedback, but for the most part, it's just like doing what feels right. And I think they know that. As long as I'm good, I mean, at the end of the day, they know I'm going to do what I want to do, which is a good thing and a bad thing. You know, your parents do know better than you, for sure. So, you know, accepting that, but also kind of following your heart. Because a lot of people told me not to pursue art at all. And to think, it's like, what if I never utilized or just started one day? Like, fuck, I'd be at some job I would hate right now. And I'm glad to have like a supportive group. It's like the biggest, I think that's on the day's biggest flex. It's just our support group.
The support.
Yeah.
Which started then with your parents supporting you. Because, see, like, unfortunately, not everybody has that. Joshua had that too, like his mom. Anything that he wanted to pursue, his mom was always like, all right, don't just say it, just do it. Like, go for it, and pushing him. For me, it was a little different because, I mean, there were so many of us that I had to help financially. So I had to have like a million student jobs and then do this, and that, and life, but it's okay. But for me though, so I got my bachelor as a management assistant, and after I started working, but funny enough, so I applied at P&G in Brussels to be a management assistant, and then they called me and they say, okay, I got the position, and but then they called me and they said, hey, actually we filled that position in house, but we have this other position, budget expert. If you want, it's yours. But I was supposed to have accounting classes in my bachelor, except my teacher was sick the whole 3 years. So I never had one class of accounting. And to be a budget expert, I was like, but like I told you earlier, I was like, heck yeah,
right,
I'll do
Let's
it.
figure it out.
And so it was rough.
That's incredible, though.
But it was fun, and I'm always like, you know, head on. But at the same time, as soon as I started working, I was like, ooh, this is not. And I was the youngest at the time, and all my colleagues were like 20 years older than me, and I was like, this is not what I want to do. This is not what I'm meant to be. And so it's funny because when I met Joshua, I tell him that all the time. If I didn't meet him and moved here and all that good stuff, I would have, I think, ended up in Africa helping, building a school, teach children. I was not meant to be that, to do that 9 to 5 life. And not that it's a bad thing,
Right.
like, good for people that can do that. For me, I was like, no, there has to be something more. This is
Right.
not what I'm meant to do.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I think I was meant to just drop it all and leave. And I ended up dropping it all and came here to New Mexico.
I honestly really admire
But-
that because I don't know if I could. I mean, I have a lot of family here, obviously friends, and a building community, and
Mhm.
I feel like I could do it, but the thought of it does scare me. I couldn't lie.
Well, the thing is, it depends too, because for me, all that, like, the friends I thought I had, it was really toxic. And then my family was always like conflict, like there's a lot of conflict and stuff. And I miss my family because I come from a really big family, and I'm really close to a lot of my cousins and stuff. But social media helps to stay in touch. And then sometimes it's funny because sometimes I talk more to my sisters or my cousins than to my neighbor, right? And so it's
right.
like, it's social media helps with that. But there's so many things to see in the world. There's so many, and even now we're itchy with Joshua, and we're like, should we stay in New Mexico? Should we go see where
Right.
the grass is greener somewhere else? But,
Right.
and it actually is greener
Yeah.
in a lot of other places than New Mexico, like literally the color green. But
Literally.
no, I mean, so have you traveled in your life so far?
I've traveled. My favorite place I've gone so far is probably Chicago. That was like my dream city growing up.
Okay.
I was a big Chicago Bulls fan, so the idea of going to Chicago was a big bucket list. We're in Colorado all the time. Just went to Sedona last week, and just got back from Hemes yesterday.
I love
So I don't travel too much, but right now that's my sacrifice. I'm grinding right here, right now. As soon as there's a trip planned, I gotta drop investments all here. So, my boy Carter, who's just in the chat, I think his new title is like bear tour guide or some shit in Alaska. He goes to Alaska like every season. So right now that's what he's doing.
Wow.
And super cool. I'm grateful and happy he's doing what he loves to do, which is travel. And his sacrifice is missing everything going on here. So, you got to pick and choose your battles.
Right.
And right now mine's traveling. So, I travel when I can. I probably don't even have the money to be doing all this cool shit, honestly. But, besides this Sedona and Hemis trip in the same week, I haven't really been anywhere.
Okay.
I've been to, California, love South Padre. But I haven't gone too many places. Chicago's like the biggest one.
You never left the country?
No, but I'm trying to go to Mexico with either my girl or the homies or however we can make it work. But Mexico that's the next bucket list.
Okay, that's
Or honestly, I've always wanted to go to Argentina or where's the place with the big statue?
Is it Brazil? Like the
Yes, I want to go to Brazil.
the
Yes,
Jesus, that's like that.
yes,
Yeah.
I want to go there.
Rio de Janeiro, I think, right?
Oh, I don't even know.
I think
Spain. I'd love to go to Germany. I'm also very picky, and I would need a translator. So there's a lot to figure out there. But I would love to go out the country.
Yeah, but see, the thing with Europe though is that everybody speaks English too. So, and usually, except for France, I hate France. So a little sneak peek on that. I'm Belgian, and people from Belgium don't like French people from France, and French people from France don't like us. It's they claim French fries. They're actually Belgian,
Oh,
so
snap.
yeah, and then they're cocky. We don't like French.
We don't
people
like
from France. But I do love the south of France. Really beautiful, very very beautiful side of France. But I mean, everybody wants to go to Paris, and
Right.
it's overrated if you ask me.
I bet.
Brussels is really beautiful though.
See, and I would just love to get out there. It's completely out of my zone. I would love to do that.
Yeah, and see, the architecture. If you're into
I bet it's
the
amazing.
design and all that good stuff, art. It's Europe is beautiful. But yeah, no. So I mean, if you ever want to go to Europe, I can give you some tips and stuff,
Dude, that'd
or
be sick.
we could plan like a super fun trip. It would be.
That'd be insane.
I know.
I have a guy in Mexico who I've been kind of chatting with collab wise, and that's kind of also given me another excuse to just go out
Right.
there,
That's
film
for
the
work.
whole thing, put on the business card.
Heck yeah.
You know, it could be a whole thing. So making those connections and doing it all for the brand too. It's
Mhm.
like, why not? I've
Mm-mm.
been trying to do pop ups in like San Diego, do it on the beach.
Wow.
I have this big vision in doing like a world tour, like even if it's to start 4 cities,
Mhm.
maybe 5 including Albuquerque, but to do a little tour just around the US for now. And
Right.
if that got enough hype, maybe people in the UK were like, well, hey, come do it here.
Yeah.
And then, it's just start
You
building
never
that
know.
motion,
Mhm.
I would love to do that.
And then you just need to meet that one person that's gonna,
Right.
open that door. And
Exactly.
that would be so fun. Because see, I kind of visualize it for you too. For me, like my end goal for the podcast, I would love to have the podcast on the road and have like a little trailer that we would just like haul with like RV and just go all around the US
Yeah.
and stop and just have a conversation with people that would want to jump in and have a conversation with me. And
See, that'd be so sick.
so,
There's these guys in LA, their brand's called Bars on Wheels, and they'll go to the grocery store and just be like, hey, who can rap on this beat? And they'll pick them up, go
Ooh.
around the block,
Okay.
and they're starting to get some traction too. So it's just cool to see people
Yeah.
be creative. That's what it's about. It's all for the sport. It's not about, we all got to pay our bills, but at the end of the day, like, I kind of look at it as just like, who's the most crazy to like fucking go there? You know what I mean? I love stuff like that. I love being inspired. Like, I love people to, essentially kind of outwork me and do something maybe I wouldn't even wear or do, but just to see people working and
Yeah.
have their own niche. Like, I love that. Shout out to Jay Scribe. He just entered the chat.
Ooh, hello.
Yeah, just having fun. I think that's the main goal.
Yes, and see, there's
Tough
so
one.
much negativity on social media that also, that's why I wanna cheer people up and I wanna promote and put people in the front page. That's not the right expression. I'm not good at that either. But just like let them know, hey, your story matters,
Right.
and come tell your story, because I have that a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts and I watch a lot of vlogs and stuff, mostly in French, but I'm always so inspired by people's experiences and stuff. And I just want to, if it can help or touch one person, that's the goal is met. But
Absolutely.
then, the more the better, because, it's like whoever we can help and can listen to this and be like, shit, I need to do it,
Right.
then that's
Right.
that's the goal.
And I think leading by example is just doing that. I think leading by example alone, people are going to be like, I want people to be like, damn, I need to get on my shit. Or,
yeah.
like I said, just outwork me. Maybe I'm not the best example, but, outwork the next person. That's like,
yeah.
That's with being successful, but also just like uplifting each other. I hope that energy rubs off and people,
And see, the thing is, and I mean, we're surfacing right here, but, a lot of people are saying, and we said it earlier too, like, yeah, but, I don't have, like, I'm not an expert in that field. But it's not about that, though. Podcasting is not about, it could be about having, like, an
Right.
expert in a field and if having a conversation about something. But it's just sometimes we're all human and we see the world through our lens, and having a conversation about whatever. To me is interesting, even if we don't have the expertise in it, because that's how we see it. And maybe someone else is going to see it and say, hey, I didn't see it this way. Like, to me, because I feel like I had so many different lives already before moving here, but I was in politics in Belgium.
Oh, wow.
And I actually was elected. And so there's like what we
What?
call, yeah, I know.
That's pretty dope.
It's funny because I was on the list when I was 18 and I got elected right away. Like, it's crazy. In my town, I guess I had like 822 people vote for me. blew my mind, because then my dad was like, imagine 822 people in the room saying Marie. I was
Right.
like, what the fuck?
That's insane.
But so we have like a social house, we call, I'm gonna translate it like that, like in Belgium, and it's like a department that helps people when low income people or homeless people, if they need help to find a job or pay bills, they go to the social house, and then they build a case with a social worker. That case goes in front of a console. I was part of that console that would like review the cases and either agree or disagree or change whatever help we would give to people. There were different like meetings I was in, but that was kind of like the main one. And so it was pretty interesting, because then, it was also insane for me to be paid and to have kind of like that power over
Right.
people's lives, but that's another discussion. But and I forgot, I keep doing that, I forgot where I started, but I just I was talking about the podcast. Come on, come back.
Power over people.
Yeah, I forgot. But either way, I feel like, yeah, I forgot.
That's the worst. I do that all the time.
But
It's like probably right there. It's like the door's open and it's about to leave.
I know. In French, we say it's like at the tip of your tongue.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay, but the podcast is about that too. Just also showing people that it's like doable, and that
Right.
to do it, don't quit your job, tomorrow if you don't have a backup plan. Because and it's easy. I mean, no, it's not easy.
It's
but
not easy.
for some people, that like it's easier said than done, because they have the funds or because they have the help or the support system. Not everybody has that, unfortunately. But like, and that's the hard part. And I say it almost in every episode. But on social media, you only see the highlight. You
Right.
only see when people succeed, and but you don't see the moment where you're like crying in your car and being like, "Fuck, those shirts didn't sell," or I don't know. I don't know if
Right.
it ever happened to you, but
Right.
for me, I feel like I tried so many things in my life, and I said it in a previous episode already, but so it feels like same as Joshua, you kind of like always knew your path or what you were aiming to or what your passion was. For me, being married to Joshua, who like found it, I was like, shit, what is mine? What's my passion? What
Right.
is, and I feel like now I found it, but for so long it was very frustrating, because it's almost like I was in a race to find my calling, whatever, people call it. But so yeah, so la la la. See, I could talk for hours. So I
Sorry.
wanted to go back to you
Yeah.
and ask you, because you talked about her a couple times already. Would you like to talk to us about your relationship? How long have you been together?
I'd say about like 3 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Can we know her
That's
name?
cool. Alondra.
Alondra.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, we just got back from Jemez. It was a vibe, just a cool little day trip so we could both get away. You know what I mean? But she's supportive, which is cool. And I incorporate her, with shoots. She'll help me do XYZ. She's like the staff member at the pop up. You know what I mean? So
Nice.
I put her to work for sure.
Um,
We love her.
Nice. Okay. I'm so happy. It feels like it's a pretty healthy relationship. Um, did you? Was it easy for you to date when you were younger?
Mm, I'd say maybe yeah, no.
Is it your longest relationship?
It is.
It is.
But I'm also like super picky. Like, yeah, I'm just super picky. Not even with like, just with like you gotta think about life partner, especially like I'm at an age where like, but if we're doing a podcast, super cool. But for the most part, like I don't really be chatting or like, the idea of getting to know people, it just doesn't even seem interesting anymore.
Oh, okay.
In terms of like, I want to get to know people, but like not on that tip. Obviously, there's a girlfriend involved, but I don't feel the need to like do anything extra or like step out of my way to, you know, even like it's interesting because I always want to help and I do want to talk to people, but sometimes I don't have the energy to do so. So I'm very limited with like who I'm like open to and want to get to know. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's funny because Joshua likes to say that it's like socially exhausting, or like sometimes after he has to go work in town in the office.
Oh yeah.
When he's back, he's like, yeah, it's like socially drained because he had to talk to people. It's not in his nature to just like start the conversation. And I'm the opposite. I'm like, I'm
we
I
had
love
a
talking, but
we had a pop up in Las Cruces, I remember, and the whole ride there we were chatting, and that whole ride back we were silent, which is just how it is, you know.
Then it's funny because when I came to so when I met Joshua in Las Vegas in line of a Britney Spears concert.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know the story? Yeah. So, and it's funny because I went there. I was like, fuck it. I was kicked out of my parents. I was living alone. And then I heard that Britney Spears was ending her residency in Vegas. And I was like, what the fuck? I've been a fan since I'm 6 years old. And so I was like, it's been 4 years at that point that she was doing her residency and I wanted to go, but I had to help my parents, la, 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 la. I lived alone for like, at that point, I think a couple months. And I had money saved finally, and I saw she was ending her residency. I was like, I need to go.
What?
So I asked some friends, and nobody wanted to come. So I was like, all right, I'll just go. And so I went by myself. And so,
wild.
yeah, I'm in line, and I'm like, there's this guy in front of me that starts talking, and I'm like, oh, cool, okay. And then, but I thought I was a Britney Spears fan. No. They knew everything. The color of her underwear in whatever clip. And for me, I know her birthday. I know she likes to drink Sprite. And I know some of the lyrics.
Right.
You know, that was about it. And then this girl behind me started to talk to us. And then she was like, yeah, I came with my best friend from Albuquerque. He's not coming to the concert, but he came for the drive. But the way she was talking about him, that was Joshua. She like, you know, my best friend.
Oh, right.
And so we were all like, oh, sure, okay. And then he joined us in line, and it didn't happen for him, but for me, I was just like, and so, oh my God, I had long blonde hair. I had fake eyelashes, black lipstick, work bitch hat, black, leather skirt. I was like, this isn't me, but okay. And so I was just like, and then he was trying to talk to me-ish, but then I was like, if you talk, he's going to realize you're not American. That, you know, I was like, don't talk because you're going to sound stupid. And then I had black lipstick that kept going on my teeth. It was just the worst moment of my life. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, no. So, and then there was a guy that was hitting on him. It was a whole thing. Oh my God. But so long story short, then we stayed in touch. And actually I was stalking him basically. And at some point he just stopped answering me. And then that was in December, and then came my birthday in June. And, then he wished me a happy birthday. And from then on, we started talking every day.
That's awesome.
Then came the balloon fiesta, and I was like, all right, maybe we should see, because we were talking every day. I was like, maybe we should see if this is real.
Got to test the water.
Right. So I came for the balloon fiesta, and then long story short, we ended up going to White Sands together.
Nice.
4-hour drive. Yep. And so
it's a commitment.
Oh yeah, to go, man, we just learned to know each other, and it was really like, there's really some deep conversations there. But then the drive back, like you said, it's funny. That's what it made me think of, because I mean, I love listening to music, but really loud, and I dance and sing in the car. That's kind of like my thing. I think it's a lot of people's thing, but you know. And so I did that, and poor thing, because we really don't listen to the same type of music at all.
Same.
So, was driving, and I was like dancing and stuff, and then we had an awkward moment because the music stopped, and it was like his ex calling him, because she knew that he was like seeing me, whatever. It was a whole thing. Funny enough. But and so it was like, you know, the ringtone, and then it's like, oh, and then the music comes back out blasting. So I was like, it's okay, I turned it off.
I love that.
So yeah, no, see, it's interesting, and I know now that he was just drained from it, and honestly, he probably hated my music because, you know, But
That's okay. I feel like, you
Yeah.
know, like me and her don't like the same music, but you know, I see her put on my music sometimes. I'm like, you know, you like it. I feel like I've come to realize some things I don't like because I don't understand. Golf,
okay.
I hate it because I don't understand it.
Okay.
I can that one I'm kind of a little
Uh-huh.
more harder on. I just don't like golf. But like, you know, even like even Spanish music for a long time, I wasn't into it. It was because I don't understand it.
Okay.
So like even noticed with stuff I like with like envy, like, oh, how come I didn't do that? It's kind of whack. I would have done this, but it's just because I don't understand
Right.
it, or I'm just, you know, I kind of have an ego towards it. But for the most part, I try to take everything with like an open mind.
Mm-mm.
If it's music, if it's art, you know, or people's perspective too, you gotta keep an open mind.
So what's on your playlist right now?
All I listen to is Wiz Khalifa, and Wiz Khalifa. Facts. I got Wiz Khalifa song for everything. Ask
Okay.
anyone around me, they'll be like, oh yeah, it's just Wiz Khalifa.
And what does your girlfriend think listens to?
She likes a
Listen
lot
to.
of reggaeton, a lot of Spanish music, a lot of like earthy, you know, lo-fi type shit. Like both of our parents and us have a good music overall
Does she
grasp.
speak Spanish?
She does.
Do you?
I speak y
Un
poquito. Yeah, we got a little bit under our belt. But like, you know, we just went camping. Her whole family's speak Spanish. Some of them Spanish only, so you learn real quick.
Oh, you have to.
So I've been in my Spanish bag these days.
Nice.
We're getting there.
But Spanish is like French though. They speak really fast.
Yeah, and there's like different versions and different styles, and depending on where you're at, they're gonna say the same thing differently. So it's a tough thing to learn a new language, but I think it can open up your mind and opportunities. Like if I knew Spanish, I bet my business would be bigger.
Mm-mm. Is it something you're thinking of learning? Like more like
I'd say naturally.
okay.
Like my sister's learning on what's that app called,
Duolingo?
Duolingo or
Mhm.
some. I'm not gonna do that,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, gradually as I'm around people who speak it, that's how I'm kind of picking it up.
Okay. That's brave.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it's hard for me to, I need to be able to like hear the, separations of
Oh
words.
yeah.
But I'm French speaking, so I feel like it's easier-ish for me because
sure.
there's some words that are the same or similar.
Mm-hmm.
Do you speak any other language?
I don't.
No, just English.
Just English.
Okay.
I'm not cool in that way, but I'm props to people who speak more than one language because that shit's insane if you kind of think about it.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
That's pretty cool.
So, I got. Ooh,
What are they asking?
let's see. Hey, Frankie in Europe, yes.
Shout out to
Oh.
Joe from Ito's Barbershop, best barbershop in town. We got a killer collab with Ito's that people are loving. We dropped it maybe 2-3 times and it sold out. Shout out my boy Joe because I kind of like do the creative directing around there. I run the social media. We throw events there, and we pack them out too. It's such a dope spot. Like if you guys ever need a haircut or you just want to go hang out, it's a dope spot.
Mm-hmm. We met for hanging out because Joshua has a barber, and it's like
It's
I
hard.
feel
Yeah,
like,
it's hard.
you can't really branch out when you have a barber. It's almost like a for life thing. So yeah, I mean, to hang out for sure.
For sure.
Mm-mm.
I know, like, I have a few barbers. I kind of rotate them. Well, since I do a lot of the work there, I don't pay for haircuts. But I try to support my boy who, like, I done logos for like my childhood friends. I'll go get cut by them, stuff like that. But yeah, you don't let anyone just cut your hair,
Right.
For sure.
Mhm.
No
Yeah.
super cuts.
But then also your barbers, like I've learned through Joshua that he can't also see if you got cut by someone else,
Oh yeah,
and then you're in trouble.
They'll be on you about it.
Right. It's funny because that makes me think of what we were talking about earlier and graphic designers. I feel like it's but maybe in the like creative area, I feel like there's some people that are like super protective of whatever like they do or they think they own, like
Mm-hmm.
of like tips and stuff. And
Oh yeah, they gatekeep.
yeah, and it's like, dude, like, huh? Like that's something that just like I can't understand. Sometimes Joshua tells me, yeah, like I was at this shoot and there's like another photographer or graphic designer and they kind of ignored me or they were like
Mm-hmm.
snobbing me and I'm just like what? It's
It's a
like,
thing for sure. Like I'm not on that tip. Um,
have you experienced that though? People that would like snob you or not answer you or just
I've seen it. Um, I've seen it. I remember, there'd be even people me and Josh work with that would be
mm-hmm.
like, "Who is this guy?" And like, it's just that you think you know everything. You're just, I don't know. For me, it's same with Josh. Like someone who's just always learning is just gonna. They always want more info. So once they feel like someone, I feel like when I come across someone who thinks they know everything, it's like, I don't even want to listen to this guy saying
Mm-hmm.
because he might know everything about the subject he's on, maybe, but I think the energy is and everything, and so if
Yeah.
it's off, it's just kind of like.
Right.
But I don't think I've been a part of something to where there's like another creative involved to where like I've been on projects to where like I'm doing the design, someone's on photography, but there's never two designers or
Right.
yeah, it's either like I'm on it or yeah,
Yeah.
and not in a snobby way, but more of less like if you want me on it, and I guess it just depends.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do a lot of art cover for artists. So right now there's a project. Me and my boy Joffro, he's the artist, but me and my boy Bright are working on the art together.
Okay.
So that's like a cool way. But I'll let him do his thing, and then I'll take it over, do my thing. We'll all agree on it. That's kind of how it mostly works. I wouldn't say I've been on something to where it's like fuck, there's two designers or works like when you work with like a dispensary, like for my experience,
Mm-hmm.
you sometimes either have to come up with a better design or like let's say we're all working on the same thing, we all come up with something. So like, I'll see that kind of competitiveness, but for the most part, a lot of people do gatekeep. I think they just don't want you to be more like they don't want the edge on them. And I always felt like I could give you all my resources, but it's up to you to do what you got to do. And I don't think if I gave everyone my resources, they could do exactly what I'm doing with it. So
Yeah, but they're not
I'm
you.
all open,
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're not you.
right. So it's like, yeah, here's the plug to that, here's
Right.
that, because half the time people aren't going to utilize it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, at least I want to be remembered as someone who's like, oh no, like he'll tell you, like a lot, especially in the clothing industry, people won't tell you where they got product or, but of course at this point I don't need anyone to tell me where
No,
they
it's
got it.
true. Yeah, you know what? I follow this girl that she like. I think her name is Megan Co on social media, whatever. But she like presses shirts and sweaters and stuff, and she's always like also gatekeeping a little because at some point, I mean, I also wanted to start doing that, but then yeah, like a lot of people were asking her, "Hey, this is really good quality. Where did you get it?" La la la, and she was like, "Well, I did my own research, so you just do yours." And it's like, all right, but I mean,
I would say I've hit people with that response, but it's also because I started charging for my time. Like I kind of came
mm-hmm.
up with this system where it's like I'll charge someone $100 for an hour of my time of just game.
Yeah.
Like if a buddy wants to meet up and talk business, I'm all for it.
Okay.
But I had someone hit me up. They're like, "Hey, I want to do exactly what you're doing." I
Oh.
was like, "Okay, I'll let you know
Mm-hmm.
at this cost."
Yeah.
And it's at that point, it's just I'm paying myself back for my time of the
Oh yeah.
hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some people where I'm like, just Google it and it's
Yeah.
right
No,
there.
of course. Yeah. Yeah.
It just depends. But I'm never one to like hold info.
Yeah, and plus I feel like just like you said, I think that there's a lot of people that you can give them all the information and the keys to the door, but they're still just gonna keep the key and never open the door.
And that's why I charge for my time now. Because it's like, I remember not too long ago, I was talking to someone, gave him a bunch of game, and I've never seen nothing come out of it. So, you just got to respect your own time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then did you also like come through. I feel like, you know, you can't you you have to, but you can't have a whole lot of ego, I feel like, in that industry, multimedia specialist industry, I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
because um I want to know your journey with that, but I know that Joshua came across a lot of time where he was really proud of his designs, and then whoever he was working for or working with, they're like, I don't like it, or you have to change this or this and that. How have you been with that? Like, how does it affect you? And
I think, it's hard when there's maybe, I wouldn't say favoritism, but if there's someone you know, I feel like when the 9 to 5 space, when you're designing, it's kind of very like, if you like this style or aesthetic, you're going to lean towards that way. Or maybe if you like someone more than the other, you might see that. What I've experienced is, my dad always told me to learn how to take criticism. So, when you turn in these design projects, you're going to get a lot of feedback, especially like when people don't know what they want and then you give them something that they don't like. It's easier when someone knows what they want or else you're just shooting blanks. So there's a lot of revision that goes down. Some people are very harsh with their feedback. I like people to be completely honest. I also want to make a very quality product. You got to just be open to criticism,
right.
even with the haters. Like I'm open to everything. So you just gotta you gotta be an open book. You gotta be willing to learn, put in the work, and not be afraid to like fail or, maybe not do your best. And if you know you
Yeah.
could do better, I mean, just do better.
Yeah, and then it's not about you, right? It's about the product that, or the design or the logo that you're making for someone. Because, I mean, you know better than your client, because sometimes I've seen that with Joshua. Some people want some really complicated logo,
Oh yeah.
and then they want to put it on everything. But the problem is that when it's super complicated, that doesn't really show well on whatever you want to put it on. But and sometimes you can explain that to people and they understand, and sometimes they just want to go with it, and then
For sure. I think, me understanding the process has allowed me to move professional. Because honestly, with my print shop, there's people who they work with, and those people don't treat them the best, but it's because they don't understand what the process is. If you kind of, my printer breaks down, hey, this happened, this is why this is going
Yeah.
down. It's like, okay, well, now we know that, let's do this. And, because I started off screen printing, so I know the process. I know how hard it takes to get it right. So, yeah, just knowing more is always going to do better. The people who don't know are just going to like, it's like that meme where it's like a silent person is, what is it? It's like an angry person has no brain and a silent person has a brain. It's like one of those things. Like, you don't say something out of hand just because your printer made a mistake. Like, it's a mistake.
yeah.
It's all mindset.
Right. Yeah. It's also what you decide to focus on, and yeah,
It's a trip out there.
it is. It is, right. So on the day doesn't make, like, do you make your living off of it, or do you have a side job for now still?
On the day is my workhorse.
Okay.
I've worked with people who still owe me money from past jobs, like 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah.
But right now we're grinding, got into like photography. So I've been shooting a lot. I've been doing a lot of freelance art cover. I got a commission I got to do tonight. Thankfully the sales on the brand they do well.
Nice.
Right now we're surviving. We're trying to get into the phase of thriving, but
Right.
right now we're surviving, which is cool. But there's gonna be a point where we need to just step it up. If it's cutting down the middleman, essentially, which is my print shop. Shop's fully exposed, but getting back to printing myself and just cutting costs down and maximizing sales. It's all doable. You just gotta make it happen. I've been trying to just do better at being a problem solver. And if we need to pick up something here and drop that, let's do it. I'm all for just making it happen, by any means.
That's cool. I feel like you have to have all the hats, right? When you're creative
Oh yeah,
and
day
when
in
you
day
want
out.
to make it your living. It's is it something that your plus one is helping you with? Is she like fully committed to helping you? Because see, like I'm just saying that because for me, when I moved here, I wanted to. It didn't help end up working really well, but
Hmm.
I was like committed to like the first 6 months I was here, I couldn't work because I came on the fiance
Oh
visa,
right,
la la
right.
li. So for 6 months I was not allowed to work. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna help you. I have like a management
Mm,
assistant background, and I was
for
gonna help
sure.
Joshua, and because he was freelancing at the time just fully, so I wanted to be like his management assistant and kind of help him with all that
Hmm.
paperwork stuff. And as much as we're really good at pushing each other up,
Hmm.
I don't think we're meant to work together.
That's okay.
Which is you have to know
That's okay.
it's fine. Um, but how is it with your girlfriend? Is she involved in On the Day or?
I'd say I mean, the support alone is incredible. I
Mm.
feel like the pop ups, she's there. Um, Feedback, I just need feedback and support. I don't really need the designs all me,
Yeah.
the printing's all the print shop. Um, I think just being a helping hand is
Mm-hmm.
like all the support I need. Um, and she's a nurse. She just got a nursing job, so
Nice.
she's kind of all booked up,
Wow.
and she hits the gym x days out the week. So she got her thing, I got my thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of like it that way.
Do you guys live together?
We do not.
Okay.
I also like that.
Okay. I was
For the
gonna say
time
that in
being.
the plans,
For the
but
time being,
okay.
I can see it, but right now
Okay.
I like how it is.
Yeah. I
Got
mean,
your space, you got mine, and I feel like I'm just super young too. Like I
Yeah.
feel like moving in with each other, that's like a big thing. As much as times we do spend together, it's different when you live with them. And I've spent countless nights there to where I get the vibe. I know what
Mm-hmm.
it's like. Um, I feel like it's in the future for sure, but right now I'm just kind of it's not my focus.
Mm-mm. Your young little brother. You
Yeah,
have
for
time.
real. That's what I'm saying too. Right now is the time to grind.
Mm-hmm. That's good though, of staying focused and doing that. It's funny because we watched last night or a couple nights ago this like documentary about this like free solo no free climber solo
Andre?
free no what is his name free I don't know he climbs without ropes and stuff on and he went and climbed that guy went and climbed El Capitan in Yosemite Park. And I think he's the first one to climb that one, like, and
It's
the documentary
insane.
is insane. Now, I was like, I asked Joshua first thing. I was like, is he dead or no? Because if he's dead, I can't watch it. I was like, well, if it came out, he's probably alive, right? So I watched it with Joshua. But all that to say that um, he already had started that dream of his, and he's been like climbing for a long time at that point. But he started that journey of climbing El Capitan free solo. I don't remember how you say it.
Hmm.
And then he met this girl, and they started dating. And all of a sudden, she was like, "No, but you can die. Like, you don't care about me," and kind of putting him in a
Mm,
situation where it's like, well, what about me? And at the same time, I'm like, well,
I
you
get it.
you kind of like started dating him when he already had started that journey of doing it,
Right.
and for him, it was like his ultimate goal. And so, spoiler, they're still together. They have children and all, and he survived, and he did it. But to me, I felt like it was a little unfair for her to put that pressure on him and
Hmm.
say, well, you know,
It's a
what
tough
if you die?
decision. Yeah,
So yeah.
I think I if you if you're in the journey halfway, you gotta accept it. I
Mm-mm.
feel like
Right?
maybe
Yeah.
if someone gets into it, you can maybe be like, "Well, be safe,"
Mm-mm,
but
mm-mm.
I don't know, man. When someone's like got their mindset and that's what they're gonna do,
Mm-mm. Oh yeah.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But that's why it's good to have like, and especially if you know that you're gonna do the work and keep your head down and just do the work for the next couple months or years or whatever. Um, it's good that your partner is aware of that, and
For sure.
you know.
I feel like everyone knows I'm what I'm gonna do.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you know, and I'm not like a a bum or nothing. It's not like I'm out here
Oh
just.
no, yeah.
So I think people see the the drive and the passion. So it's almost like a non-questionable at this point. It's just making it happen, making it sustainable.
Hmm.
And it's not like I'm gonna be selling T-shirts forever. Maybe I will because I'm already in that bag.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe if I get it to where a point I could just have it uh, on command. It's a different story. But merch is like that's where the world's moving. And if you could tap into merch, like
Hmm.
that's where it's at. So just to have it, have the merch going. I want to dabble into other stuff, and I don't have an end goal with it. It's just to keep it going
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah. We have an Instagram question
Oh,
for
let's
you.
go.
Someone says, so what are some of Frankie's current favorite logo beside his own?
Ah, besides my own, I've always liked the Miami Heat logo.
Okay.
It's a good one.
I don't know, but I trust you.
It's like a ball on fire going into a hoop. It's super sick.
Ah, okay.
Um, favorite logo? I don't even know.
Are you more inspired by the logos that are like with the hidden thing? Like, I mean, at this point it's not hidden, but like the FedEx logo has like a arrow
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
it, or um.
I just like concepts.
Okay.
Like the ball on fire is like when you're hot. Yeah, it's like such a cool concept,
Mhm.
and I remember seeing that as a kid. Actually, being very intrigued by the NBA logos, not thinking about design or even I didn't even have enough interest to look into design,
Mm-mm.
but it was just like always intrigued me. So it's just crazy how all this comes full circle
Yeah.
to where it's like now I could probably make that logo, or it'd be cool to get picked up by like an NBA team, or I'm not against having a boss by any means. I just want to do something I'm passionate about. I've been in the cannabis industry doing design for like 3 years, but I'm kind of over it because it's saturated. The people kind of suck, and they always. I think it's just not the most consistent industry right now. So I want to get into an industry like wine or liquor would be cool. Obviously working in the cannabis industry, I got free weed for years. So I'm not really looking forward to free beer. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as I'm getting paid to like just be creative, I mean that's all I could ask for.
Yeah. Okay. So parallel to Own the Day, you still have like hopes and dreams of, yeah, like working towards that, maybe work for bigger companies like that, and
Oh yeah, I mean, ideally I don't want to work for anyone, but I'm open
mm-hmm.
to the idea of like designing for a company. Yeah, I'm like I'm all for that. Benefits, I'm kind of I'll be honest, I go into these 9 to 5s like, look, I need this much and I'm not working 9 to 5. Like I haven't worked a weekend in like 8 years maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So like I tell them off rip, I don't do weekends. I don't work past 4 p.m. I kind of, I don't know how people take it, but you see the work in the portfolio, as long as I'm working and the people know I'm working, you can kind
Yeah.
of work in your own schedule. So yeah, I should probably look for a job, honestly, but right now we're making it happen.
No, but I mean, it's good because you're young and you know what you want, the time that you need on the side, and a lot of people, don't know, and they just live it the way society tells them to, and and for some people it works like we said, but then it's good that you know what works best for you.
Right. I just know what I work best in and what makes me like happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like my days these days, I'll wake up, I'll either hit the gym, I'll start working on each day is like surprisingly enough for me not having a job, I stay hella busy. If it's meetings, running here, doing drops, deliveries, pickups, shoots, podcasts, I mean there's a lot to do if you're about it. And someone once said, like, if you had someone following you around all day, would they be convinced that you're as willing to make that dream happen as you say? And I think that's a good rule of thumb. Like, I know when I'm slacking, when I'm on my phone scrolling or bullshitting, and to think someone's watching you, maybe be like, well, I thought you wanted
Right.
this and the third. It kind of pushes you to go harder. So, that's kind of been my mindset lately. Just do the work, grind now. Even if I'm tired, don't want to do it. Like, there's always something to do for sure.
Oh yeah, and damn, I'm the same way. It's hard because sometimes, I mean, I have some anxiety sometimes that I'm like I want to do so many things, and then I feel like the list in front of me gets too overwhelming, and so I kind of like go on the couch and just play a game. I have one
Yeah.
game on my phone, and I'm just like,
What is it?
It's what is it called? King Royal Match.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was just playing my games in Hemes. I have Blackjack, Miss Pac-Man, and Minesweeper.
Whew, so you have three. That's
And
a lot,
Tetris.
Frankie.
And
Four.
Tetris. I have 4 games.
Okay, that's a lot to be distracted with.
Nah, I know. I think the most thing I get distracted on is just watching YouTube vids, or I get lost in the Instagram scroll.
I only have TikTok for the podcast, but I can't. I'm like, if I dive into TikTok, I'll never get out of there.
Honestly, I downloaded it last week and I got like 8 posts out so far, but I haven't scrolled on it. I just go post, I'm out.
and leave.
Yep.
Same.
Because I don't need another scroll.
Oh no.
Like Twitter doesn't really do nothing for me these days. I just kind of do it to be active. My Twitter in like 7th grade was insanely popping.
Okay.
Insanely popping. For no reason at all. Now that I have like stuff to promote and stuff, it's just I don't get that engagement. So, but I still post. Snapchat, I honestly do decent just because it's more personal. Everyone feels like they're kind of talking to me. I run my Instagram. I don't know if people feel like I don't or something, but just finding different outlets to push. I've been dropping shorts on YouTube. I'm kind of just getting the same video and just dropping it everywhere. I'm not even being strategic. I'm just getting in the groove.
Yeah, it's hard. It's flipping hard because I love this, but then when we leave, everything that comes after that, I hate it because it's hard. It's hard. And so that's what I've been doing too. Like I make the reels and then I just post the same everywhere. And I'm just like, and the thing is, so I do TikTok, I do Instagram, I do YouTube short. And then I should do Facebook because Facebook is it's in an entire generation. It's like really like, a group of people that, I don't want to,
the old people.
Yeah, not reach. No, but you never know. I mean, but I can't get myself to post there, and not that I don't know why. It's just weird, and because I made a page, and I feel like it doesn't get the traction the same way
it's
other
very discouraging
platform do, and it's funny because people are always like, "Oh, influencers, they have it so easy. Like it's easy. It's not. It's not.
It's not easy." Yeah, I feel like right now, like I said, I'm not even being strategic with my posts. You can even look at the numbers. I don't focus on them, but I pay attention. Like my last few reels are all down in the dumps because I would say there's no substance to them, honestly. Like I'm just dropping just to be consistent and letting people know, like, hit the website. And one of those are bound to hit. And I've been taking hella photos. I got a bunch of stuff I've been just sitting on. Just kind of everything needs to align and, kind of make sense. But I don't even overthink it.
Right.
I don't overthink it. Just kind of, just getting a regular program of it. The numbers, I feel like I have decent numbers. Sometimes I look at my highest video and the lowest one and it's like, fuck. But it is what it is. And honestly, there's no limit to like how much you can post. So it's almost like
no, yeah, right.
Yeah.
If it came to it, and if people say, "Damn, I would really love to have like weekly vlogs of you, see what you do." Is it something you would be interested in doing, or?
I would only do it if like enough people were like, we want to see it. But I don't think I would start it willingly. Although like I've always said I wanted to start a YouTube, but I don't want to manage it. So like if someone were to just film me and follow me around, I mean, we could do that all day. Yeah. It would be pretty dope. But I wouldn't like set my camera up, talk to I wouldn't do that. Me personally, I'll do it for
Yeah.
Instagram stories, but like a whole 20-minute video, I don't know.
And see, for me, I have the videos. I just don't have the time to edit it.
Oh
And then
man.
I have a laptop that it's really hard for me to edit on, because then it overheats
Yeah.
instantly. So it's like, all right, it's not. So the goal is to maybe have, whenever I can make money out of the podcast, because right now it costs me money, and it's not making any. I'm hoping to be able to buy myself a computer so I can just edit on it and not just always try to say. And Joshua is amazing. He's always like, "Oh, you can use my computer," but he also works on that computer, so
Right.
it's like, complicated and all that. But so if you want to sponsor the podcast,
Sponsor the pod.
you
That's
know.
that's also the next move is look into sponsors
Mhm.
and get the event sponsored. I feel like myself can get sponsored. The podcast. I feel like there's a lot of avenues where you can definitely find them. You just need to
Yeah.
approach them right, give them value, and just follow through. But yeah, it's the next wave. If you can get sponsors,
Oh, I know. And so that's why I'm trying to have like a couple episodes in and show views, show the whatever, how many people it's reaching. And I feel like I don't have the numbers yet to go and market myself, even though, I mean,
how many people do you follow? Do you think,
do I follow?
like on the podcast, like a rough estimate? Like, do you actively follow people or do you?
No, so see, all right. So my strategy there was I kind of only want to follow my guests
Mm,
and have people follow the podcast,
like that.
and then I follow my guests so that when people are like, like who is that person, they can just go and see the follow and
like that.
only see the list of people that
Mhm.
were on the podcast. But I know that by doing that too, people like the follow for follow, whatever it's called. But
What's
yeah.
been really working for me is for every collab post, every post I do, I go through every like, and if I'm not following them, I'll go on the profile, see if it's worth it, see if they'll follow me back, see if their contents,
Mhm.
if they got a cool page, like, I want to follow them.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
So even with the new collabs, I'll follow everyone. I'll get 20 follows a post, and it's like because I don't care about me following more people. I remember that being a thing.
Yeah.
Um, I do like people to follow me back. That's kind of nice.
Right.
But for the most part, I'll just let it fly because it don't cost me anything. And honestly, yeah, I don't care about the numbers being higher or lower.
Yeah.
So, but that most times out of 9 times out of 10, I always get at least 15, 20 plus followers when I do a collab post. And then I'll have a phase every 6 months to where I'll go through everyone who isn't following me, and if it's like just a personal account, they're gone. I'll continue to follow
Yeah.
a business or like an influencer or a workout page or something like that. But yeah, I kind of weed them out, find those people, and what I do is as soon as they collab, they like the post. Within 5 minutes, I'm on them. So they hit my post, they saw me once. I'll go back follow them twice, and then usually when you follow someone new, your page will pop up.
Hmm.
So boom, you hit them with the 3 times. It's like 3 times off rip. You've seen the page in one day, and I'm hoping those people stick around.
Right.
A lot of them do. Not everyone does, but for the most part, that's how I've been building my following. And it's funny, I got like a random 200 bot followers within 30 seconds. Like boom, and you can tell they were all bots.
Yeah.
So I know I'm bound to drop 2 like eventually. But we just did a giveaway for 4,500. I'm already at maybe like 5,012. I wanted to announce it. Sorry. And do something with it, but
Yeah.
I know I'm bound to lose those 200 followers. So I'm just waiting until like we reach like
Oh.
55, and I'll
Mhm.
be like, okay, let's do another
Yeah.
giveaway or something like that. But for the most part, I don't even
Mm-mm.
trip about it.
Right. It's funny because I feel like maybe it's a little taboo, but I guess I've encountered people that bought
Oh yeah, you
followers.
can tell too.
Yeah.
You can tell.
But did you ever do that in the process?
Nah.
Yeah, I'm not like that either.
Because I just you're not getting real people,
yeah.
so it
So
almost
it's not.
doesn't
There's
mean
not going to be any engagement from
Yeah.
it either. That's sad.
it's that's one of the biggest scams I think, buying
Right.
followers or something like that. Yeah, and then it kind of ruins the page because those pages don't last if you didn't notice, or like they got 50,000 followers with 20 likes. Like it almost makes you look worse. So yeah, just keep it natural, keep it what it is.
Right now it's funny because I'm like I'm at 140, but every day I look if I have one more, and then the other day I was like at 38, and then I had a follow, so I was like, oh my god, I'm at 139, and then I went to look back a couple hours later, and I was back at 138. So I was like, oh no, who unfollowed me? Like
it's the worst.
You know? Then
and it's to think like
so much, but
it's crazy to think people unfollow us. Like, damn, that's crazy.
Right? It's like, huh?
It's all good though.
No, yeah, it's little by little, but the process is fun though. It's just that right now though, like on a personal level, I'm a clerk at the post office, and Amazon started delivering their own packages. So all of a sudden, our flow or volume of packages dropped, and so I'm the one before the last that got in the team, and so I'm the one before the last that gets now the least hours, and so I'm like, okay, maybe the podcast needs to pick up a little faster than I thought it would be, but at the same time, it's hard because I don't want to push it too hard too fast, and I mean, I wouldn't kill it, but you know, it's like, I don't know, I wanted to stay true and a passion, but you know, yeah, it's rough because also I don't want to shove ads down people's throat, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I don't know where it's gonna go. I'm excited to see though, but
I think slow is fast. If you can just be steady and just be on it, uphold the quality, I mean, you're gonna find your people. But attack that social media. That's where it's at. That is where it's at. That's why I am thankful I'm able to build my name from social media. Still kind of learning it too. Like I'm by no means have anything figured out, but I just kind of know what I want and don't want, and that's how I kind of lean towards the direction I take.
Yeah.
You know?
When you said that you're not, like, you don't mind having a boss, but, you know, ideally you don't see yourself there in the future, have you ever thought of having your own, like, marketing company or, like, you know, agency?
We call it the Star Agency. We mess with the word star a lot, like Star Man. I got my old, I don't want to say that. This guy I used to know, still know him. I don't know. We don't talk to this guy no more.
Okay.
He gifted me the name Starman out of, we're just playing pool, and he was just like, dude, like, you're the star, man. So this is kind of where it came from. So we incorporated a lot. Like, I have a playlist that's called Star List, and it's just like all my favorite songs. We just flipped the word. So that Star Agency is what we were kind of calling it. It's just me and a few people who are just, you know, I think passionate about creating, and we're willing to put in the work that others aren't. If it's design, if it's, you know, I got a buddy I would say he's like a handyman, but like he can build anything. So like we got kind of a production area, and then we have people who are more into management or more into customer service. So I feel like if all my friends in the right group came together, we can just provide a good service. And, you know, I don't think that would be the nonprofit. That might be its own thing, but that would be ideal.
Okay.
Just helping people, and then we're helping people at the same time, so it's like a win-win.
Yeah. And so what is, on a complete different subject, but what is your star meal?
The star meal, that's a good one. The star meal, I assume that's like my favorite meal.
Right, yeah.
The star meal, that's crazy. I gotta start using that. The star meal, I would say a good, like, I'd say some green chili chicken enchiladas. That'd be the star meal.
Okay.
Or some Mexican dish.
Homemade or?
Homemade for sure. Just eating like a king. I think that's the star meal. Just eating good, you know what I mean? No processed food. As much as I ate Sonic yesterday, might grab some on the way home. It's all good.
Okay. What's your favorite? What's your go-to at Sonic?
Honestly, Sonic sucks these days. I was so disappointed. But I usually just get like a corn dog.
Right.
And an ice cream slush. That holds me over.
Nice. Yeah, I like to do like a corn dog and like a small like tater tots.
That's literally what I got yesterday. Honestly, I'll run that back tonight. I don't even care.
Yeah, that's good. Well, so do you watch your calories and stuff? Are you like that type of person? No.
Nah.
Do you cook?
I do cook, not as much as I probably should, but I do be cooking.
Okay.
I have a mean breakfast, and my grilling's pretty awesome. But like my girl's more good at like the dinner, the salads, chopping everything up, making sure everything, like they always say, like the more color the better on your plate. So, she'll be on that tip. I'll just eat like kind of like a dog, honestly. I'll eat everything, anything. My dad
Okay.
used to call me a garbage disposal because I would just eat everything.
Okay.
And I was picky at the same time, so it'll be like obviously stuff I only
Uh-uh.
liked.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
That's
thank
hilarious.
you. I have, you know what? On the podcast, we have a tradition. We have two traditions, actually.
Let's do it.
So we have these cards. I have two stacks. One is a life question. One is the thing I'm really bad at, and I can think about what it is called right now. Expressions. There we go.
Oh, let's do a few.
Um,
I like these.
So if you can pick a card out of each stack, which you can,
One and one.
yeah,
Let's do first two. Flip them over.
yeah, and
'Kay.
read and tell us if it says anything to you or.
Are they supposed to match or they're completely
No,
different?
they're different.
Okay.
They're
So
different.
life question is, what is a lesson you learned the hard way? Do I answer it or read
Yeah.
this one? What is a lesson you learned the hard way? I feel like no one's gonna wait for you. Like I remember always saying like you got to meet the right person or you gotta, and essentially I did wait to meet the right people that got me into the right doors at the right time. But for the most part, I think people think life's just gonna happen for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to go make it what you want. So I had to learn that just because I was shunned for my art dreams as a kid. Not that I was like I want to be an artist, but like deep down inside, I was like I know I can do this. So I think just ultimately knowing that you can do it
Mm-hmm.
and you got to do it your way. That's a hard lesson. And this one says, your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by chance. Hold up. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by chance. I like that.
Hey.
Let's do another one. Is that cool?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
okay.
All right. Life question. What does success mean to you? And has that definition changed over time? Yeah. I would say I used to see success as like just being rich, honestly.
Okay.
But now it's just like being happy and like secure. Security is a huge thing. And this says, don't watch the clock, do what it does. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
I get tongue twisted.
I
Don't
know
watch
this
the
one
clock,
is a good one.
do what it does, keep going. Keep going's huge. I'm doing one more. I like stuff like this.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, life question. If you could change one thing about your past, what would it be? Nothing.
Okay.
Challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. I love that. By Joshua J. Marine. That's a good one to end on. And I got stars on it.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for your time. This was super cool.
No, of course. And then there's the other dee-doo-doo-dee-doo. And see, wait, I wanted to say something about one of those. I forgot. The clock. What does success mean? Change. Yeah, no, with the clock. It's funny because, it always reminds me when I was younger. I used to take public transportation a lot because in Belgium, I mean, everything's so close. You either walk or take the public transportation. And when
Mhm.
you go at a bus stop or a tram stop, there's always like a little screen and it tells you how long you have to wait for the next tram or bus to come. But I realized that whenever I would go to the stop and not know when the next one would come, I would be more inclined to wait, and it would even like go faster. But when you see, it's almost like then you're just in a mood where like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Then you're impatient, and so I'm trying to apply that to my life too. To not really look at the clock most of the time and kind of like flow it.
Right.
And so, because, man, I'm a really stressed and anxious person. And so, see, I'm always like, my legs are always like,
Same.
all right, keep. And because, I mean, growing up, for me, I don't know how it was for you, but it was always like fast, 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 fast. Like with my parents, it was always like, okay, we need to clean, we need to go there, we need to do this. And so I'm always on the move. And so, um, same like when I first moved here in Belgium, it's like really rainy all the time. It's like 300 days of rain and 50 days of sun. Yeah. So whenever there's sun, everybody's outside. Everybody's grilling, going to the park, going out, doing this and that. So when I first moved here, I remember the first week, every day I was like, let's go out, let's go do something. And after a week, Joshua was like, it's
Chill.
okay. It's going to be sunny tomorrow. We're good. But so that's always been my personality. But then I'm learning to chill because sometimes, you know, even on the road or when we're waiting for a parking spot, I'm like, oh my God, come on, hurry. And Joshua's always like, do we have to be somewhere? Like, we're good, like, chill out. And so, not like that, of course, but I'm,
Right.
like, you know. But so, yeah, I'm trying to apply that to me too. Like, yeah, chill. The clock is still going to tick. There's going to still be another
There's
day.
no rush.
No. But at the same time, though, that's why I love your brand and your the name Own the Day, because I feel like more and more lately it's like speaking to me in the sense that you have to own your day because it's one day at a time, but at the same time the sun only goes up and down one time, like once a day, and it's not gonna go up and down the same way the next day. So just go for it, do it, own it, and don't let it pass by.
Right.
That's my worst fear. I don't know what your worst fear is, but my worst fear is waking up in like 10 years and realize I didn't do
Right.
what I wanted to do, you know?
I think that's the beauty of I think, you know, on the days how I live too. So like everything I do is day to day. Like I know I gotta, and then, you know, I'll feel the hurt of missing a day of productive work and I'm like beating the clock and now I'm rushed. So if you do something for yourself every day or for your business every day over 10 years, it has to be like way better than what it was. Right. So yeah, take it day by day. I'm not in no rush. I don't force anything, but that clock is ticking, and it's a trippy balance for sure, you know. But you know, I think the biggest advice is just take it day by day, and that's what we represent. So like, if we can push everyone to be on that tip, I think we could all be in a progressive world, you know.
Yeah, because sometimes you can get caught up into the future too much to the point that you actually don't really do anything.
Right.
And yeah, that's been me for a long time, and or overthinking what other people would think, and then I just decided that I needed to do it.
Right. And it's crazy because I didn't think about what people would think when I started. I didn't put it in perspective. I just knew I had to do it. It wasn't about, I feel like everything I do is somewhat cool just because the aesthetic and how we do it. But yeah, everyone's going to have an opinion. So that is a little scary. But at first, I don't know why. It never came to mind. And thankfully, because it does hinder people for sure to even start or to continue, or to maybe it molds your inspiration or direction to where it's not like true anymore, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's funny because I wanted to ask that to you earlier, like, but I guess you just answered it. So that's cool. That was like something I had forgotten, but there is, before I do that. So we are gonna do a giveaway.
Oh yeah.
And so we're gonna give away one of these shirts, and size large. We're gonna give away a hat,
tea,
and a air freshener for your car. And so you're gonna have all that on the post on the day of the release of the episode. But for those of you who stuck with us till now, and for those of you who are on the chat, so for an extra entry, you'll have to text me, DM me with the word, oh my God, Marie, green chili chicken enchilada.
Okay.
which is your star meal.
I could dig that.
So do that. Text me that or star meal. If you don't remember Frankie's star meal, DM me star meal or green chili chicken enchilada for an extra entry.
That'd be dope.
And then we'll let you know when we do the I can't today. Everything comes in French. It's crazy. When we pick up the winners.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, we can even do like a collab post, or even
Yeah.
we can clip like 2 of these, the best clips, and we can collab on them and push the giveaway a little more. Just promote it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm open to everything.
Heck yeah. So the final tradition on the show is that at the end of every episode, the guest writes a question for the next guest,
Oh, wow.
not knowing who it's going to be.
What was the previous question?
And so the previous question for you is from Mirasol, and her question is, if you could go back in time, what would change?
What would change?
What would change? What would
If I had to go back, I would do more sooner. I would do more sooner.
more sooner.
Yeah.
It's funny because you had that, or like in those questions, right?
I said nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
But, you know, if I could, I would do more.
More sooner.
Just more.
Mm-mm.
Like early on, I was banging out whatever it should have been, or even getting on content early enough. You know, I think doing more sooner.
Right.
My question would be, do you know who your next guest is going to be?
No.
Or what they do or nothing? I would just be like, honestly, what me and my girl were talking about, what would be, either you can put what would be your last song before you die, or the song you'd play at your funeral.
Oh, okay. So what would be the last song you listened to before you die?
Yeah. Or your funeral song.
Okay.
Like that. That's very telling about a person. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Right. Or what would be your funeral song? Okay. Like the song you would they would walk you in.
Yeah, like as the whole thing's going on, what song are they playing?
Okay. It's funny because my dad always said, like, when I die, you better have like the best party ever. And it used to make me mad because I was like, just don't say that. I'm not gonna want to party.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like celebration of your life, and
Right.
but
It's a hard concept.
right, yeah. So I had another question, and it just slipped me when you talked about What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is like it's like a deep sea blue,
Okay.
like a hard blue, like not a navy or a royal, but like just a deep sea blue.
Okay. Sorry, sometimes I just like to ask like
What's your
random
favorite color?
questions. Mine is Bordeaux. It's like a dark reddish. I don't know how you say it in English.
Like a burgundy maybe.
Yeah,
maroon?
Bordeaux. Attends, Bordeaux color. Yeah. I guess it's like between burgundy and maroon, kind of like.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's a good color.
I love that.
I feel like lately my favorite color, I've been into like oranges, like a burnt orange or red. Very summer vibes lately. Haven't been wearing too much blue or purple.
What's your favorite season? Are you more like a winter person or
Yeah,
summer?
I like fall.
You like fall?
I like right in between. I like wearing layers. I don't like being sunburnt or humid or sweaty. So anytime I can layer up for sure. But I do love like being on a beach or something like that.
Damn, and we're the state with no beach, like no
I
coast.
know. But I think that's a good thing because I'd probably be there all the time.
Yeah, we have everything else though. If you think about it, in New Mexico,
I don't really like to
pretty dope.
hike, so
you
I
don't.
mean, hiking's cool, but
Okay.
not willingly. Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends where too. If you go to Hemis, I mean, damn, there's some pretty dope hikes there.
Oh yeah.
And we just went like 2 weekends ago to Timbaran. It's like right. It's you have to go through Cloudscroft down south by
Nice.
the White Sands
Mhm.
area, and oh my god, it was so beautiful out there. And then for like once you pass Cloudscroft, you have to drive like 50 minutes down to Timberound. No service. We barely saw anybody. It was just
Oh
amazing.
man.
The older I grow, I'm just like, yes, send me where there's nobody. But no, yeah, I mean, and we did some pretty cool hiking stuff and all that. So on another note, like personal, I wanted to ask you that because for me, like early on, because I have so many brothers and sisters, I always knew that I wanted to have children or a lot of children.
Mhm.
Now I don't know if we're gonna have a lot, but is it something that because you have one sister,
Mhm.
is it something that you see in your future children?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe.
I mean, and it's no pressure, of course, on
Right.
asking that.
Um, I'd say my priorities just aren't there. But I would rather much have like a few Frenchie dogs. Honestly, that'd be a vibe.
Okay.
Little kids, I don't know. I like them when they're like when they hit 5
Mm-hmm.
and up. I can talk to them, hang out a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not ready for that. I'm still a young kid myself.
Hmm. That's good, you know. To eat and again to each their own. There's
Facts.
no pressure, and I feel like a lot of people, you know, especially from my people I know from Europe, they were like, "Oh, you're living your American dream, whatever." In a way, I am because you know I found the love of my life, and I have an amazing son, and now I found my purpose. I'm like, oh my god,
We're here.
yes. But I feel like American dream is not the white picket fence anymore. It's
Mm-mm.
really what we make of it.
Right.
I feel like, I mean, before that was it. But I feel like if you ask people nowadays, like, what's your American dream? It has to be tailored to
Mm-hmm.
each and every one of us. I feel
Yeah,
like,
I think just doing sounds kind of ignorant, but doing what you want to do. That's the move right there. Yeah. Just waking up and just having fun every
Right.
day. Every day is Friday over here, so I tend to get lost in the days of the week and stuff like that because we're just grinding. Right? You know, every day I swear feels like a weekend.
what's a typical day for you,
Um,
if there is such a thing?
work out if I'm on it, or make breakfast. We'll smoke. We'll work on stuff, emails, maintenance of website, social media heavy, responding back to people. Might be packing orders daily though. On top of all that, we'll find time to chill somewhere in between. It kind of sounds boring, honestly, but I don't really do much.
Oh,
Just
no.
kind of,
I don't think so. I think you go with the flow, and that's harder than people think too, to keep yourself busy.
absolutely.
Is there? Do you watch like TV shows?
I'm not a TV watcher.
No,
No TV, no shows.
no streaming services.
I watch YouTube.
YouTube.
I like
Okay.
watch YouTube videos and listen to music and like the podcasts, but no TV, no television, no movies,
Oh, that's
no
interesting.
series. Yeah, I try to create more than I consume,
Okay.
and I already consume a lot on the phone. So like TV, I just don't watch it.
Yeah, we don't have like regular TV, but we have like streaming services like Hulu, Max,
for sure.
Apple TV, like Apple, whatever.
Hmm.
And yeah, I love shows. I love shows, movies, stuff, horror movies.
I got into Squid Games when it came out. That first one was kind of mind blowing.
Yes.
But if it's there, it's there.
Well, if there was like a real life Squid Game, would you go?
Yeah, I'd be out first round. I'm not built like that. Take
But
me out.
you would go for to be a participant.
I wouldn't willingly go.
Okay.
If they kidnap me like they did in the movies,
Right.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But yeah, I'm not.
But you wouldn't like
I'm not seeing that final
go
round.
there. Okay.
Nah, not at all.
It's funny because I feel like I don't watch a lot of those type of channel, but like the Mr. Beast when they have like those games and stuff.
Oh
and,
yeah.
I as much fun as it seems, I don't know if I think I'm too stressed of a person to just go and do it. You know,
For real.
I would overthink it way too much.
I'd probably overthink it too.
Okay, that's fun. Well, I know we had a little We're a little over like the time. Okay.
Yeah.
But is there anything you wanted to share?
Go check out ontheday47.com.
Why 47? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
The 47 represents the chakra system. So the 4 is the heart, 7 is the mind. So it's like the balance between the two. It was like heavily influenced by Pro Era and a lot of the Beast Coast movement that was happening back in like 2012. I'm like a product of that
Okay.
movement. And I've been blessed to be able to work with some of those people who I wouldn't say stamped the brand of approval, but like kind of just gave me my flowers and you know, that's what the 47 stands for. So, you know, we'll see, we'll put it in like, it's obviously in the Instagram handle, but we'll put it on the shirts or, you know, we'll mess with like the Roman numerals, just to like put it in there. Like, and if you know, like I've been doing a lot of art cover for one of those people who started that movement, and he never hit like a mainstream status. Like he only has 20,000 followers, but for those who know him, they're like, yo, that's some big, it's a big placement. And I've been doing all of his art cover for the past like 6 months. So I got like 12 covers just with him alone. And I recently did a big one, and obviously, you know, I get tagged in the comments, but I don't see followers. Actually, the commission I'm doing today came from the cover I did for him. So,
Okay.
you know, he's in a good place to put me in a good position. And I was listening to him when I was in middle school. So to be able to have this dude's number and he'll call me all the time, we'll chat. It's an incredible feeling, and especially when we're putting out fire. And it's like, it's not like I'm just working for this guy, because to be honest, I've done all this work for free. But where it's put me in like be able to put our work on my resume is like insanely cool for younger me.
It's crazy because see, I love like you talking to us about all that, because I feel like either that's what I've encountered at least. You meet people like bigger people or people that you look up to, and they either match your vibe and support you and bring you on and, you know, cheer you and bring you up no matter how many followers you have or whatever, or not, or there are people that you know, stay like untouchable, and you know, and so it's so amazing that you've been able to like touch up with like, yeah, like you said, someone that you've listened to and, you know, looked up to, and then it's like you up there with them. And
yeah, I remember when I was younger, my boy was like, what if they ask you to join the group? And out of like just bullshitting, like I'm like 6 months in at this point. Like that wasn't even a possibility. I was like, nah, I'd want to work with them. I'm not trying to be one of their, I don't want to be one of them. I want to be me working with them. And I'm glad I stayed true to that, because now it's cool. Like, they'll mess with the aesthetic and the style. And, you know, I have a voice memo of him for like 5 minutes just going off about how fire this cover is. And it's like crazy because, like I said, I grew up listening to this guy. So to hear a 5-minute voice memo of him just geeking over what I just made is like, it's like super rewarding, you know?
Heck yeah. I'm so happy for you. That's pretty dope.
I appreciate you. And I appreciate the proud of you comment in the live chat. I see you. You're appreciated.
Heck yeah. That's what you know, life should be about. I mean, and that's also why I was asking you earlier. I watch a lot of like true crime. I listen to a lot of true crime podcast stories and stuff and shows, and sometimes I need to get my head out of that because you know, it's pretty scary. And sometimes I feel like, you know, I think one time I almost got kidnapped, but I wonder if I really almost got kidnapped. True. Or is it because I get paranoid because of the, you know, shows I listen to. So I think, you know, there's a lot of negativity in the news, in the world. That's why, like I said, we have a TV, but we watch like streaming services. We don't watch regular TV. We don't watch regular news. I have like, I watch, his name is Hugo Décrypte, it's in French, but it's like 10 minutes of news a day, and it's on YouTube, and that's the only news I watch. So
I could dig that.
I kind of like keep an eye on stuff. And I say that, and it's been like a week and a half I haven't watched
Right.
because I just feel overwhelmed with all this, what's happening right now.
There's a lot going on.
And especially because I'm European, so I have a lot of my family that's always like, "Hey, did you see what Trump said? Did you see what he did last?" And,
Right.
and I'm like, "No," and I don't want to know.
Right.
And I feel like we're in an era where a lot is shifting, a lot is moving, but I don't want to bury my head in the sand. I don't know how you feel about that, but I also want to make sure that the life I'm living and the people I meet, like, that I keep that positivity going and sharing. And even though, there's some dark stuff from my past, and I feel like everybody has some to some extent, yeah, let's keep bringing each other up. Damn it.
That's what it is. Positivity brings us together, and it makes everything go around.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes the process a lot more enjoyable. You don't want to be around.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and that's why I like sharing stuff that happened to me. But I mean, you don't have to have drama or trauma in your life to be interesting. And I mean, good for you that you didn't go through some of the shit that other people went through. And I'm truly happy for you. I feel like people sometimes are like envious or whatever, and it's funny because
Haters.
right?
I see you.
That conversation I had with or even with Aritza, and she owns Lindo Mexico with her parents. A lot of people are like so like shitting on her so much, and or jealous about the wealth and stuff, but they didn't come from wealth. They worked for it, and I think people sometimes like to take that shortcut and just be like, well, they're lucky. No, it's not luck, dude. Move
hard
your
work,
butt and
yeah.
go work.
For sure.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else you want to bring to the table.
Last thing, we got a new dropout, bunch of new hats, bunch of one-of-one caps, surf caps, new T-shirt, and the Hydro Bar collab. Hopefully ASAP. I appreciate your time, everybody's time, and I'm looking forward to seeing this come out.
I know, me too. Thank you so much for coming. And then, no pressure, but if On the Day wants to sponsor at some point,
For sure.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
That'd be cool though.
But yeah, God knows where this is going, but it's growing. So
Day by day.
I was gonna ask ChatGPT to help me with my outro before we started the podcast, but I didn't have time, and so as per usual, I am gonna try to wing it, and it's gonna be terrible.
That's
so
okay.
bear with me. But thank you so much for watching, and I want to thank Albuquerque Podcast Studio for having us here. And by the way, this is not a collaboration because I do pay for the sessions, but I love this studio so much, and the quality. I mean, I've had really like trouble with self-image growing up, and I mean, that's also why I waited so long to start the podcast. And see, we out of the outro, but it's okay, because I'm so scared of how I'm gonna look, what people are gonna think, and that was my thing growing up. My family always called me fat, la 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 la. Very nice. So I pushed this a long time, but thanks to Lester and the quality of this. I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah.
And it's actually helping me. So, come to the podcast. Maybe it will help you too.
Let's go. Yeah, I could send like a dozen people your way if you need them.
Well, yes. You know what? To be honest with you, my list is,
I'll send you a list. You can just go through them.
Okay. I have, whoever feels comfortable to come share their story. This is a long form podcast. We don't look at the clock. We don't have any type of set questions or topics to talk about. This is a conversation. If you want to come and have a conversation with me about who you are and what made you who you are today, please reach out. There's a form on my Instagram to fill in. It's just easier for me to gather everything there. But if you don't want to fill it in, just text me or DM me. It's fine too. And so thank you, Frankie. I hope to see you again soon. I'll keep following your journey, and you are a very impressive young man. I say young man just because I'm older than you.
No, I appreciate it.
But it was a really cool conversation, and I can't wait to see where you go.
We're up.
Right. So thank you and see you. Oh, please subscribe, follow, share.
Subscribe.
I should have said that at
Please.
the beginning of the episode, but have a good rest of your day and own the day. Bye.
That's it.